My name is Sam, and that's not all. I got a pretty good show with my good friend Paul. So listen up to the chairman of the board. I talk to him and he talks to me. We talk a lot of shit, but you get it for free. So don't complain, these gadgets cost a lot. So now we're at the end of the song, and everybody knows what's going on. So here we have the chairman of the... Yes, we have the chairman of the board. Because we're bored.
Oh my days, Sam, the camera angle's so different this week, bringing fresh new angles.
Yep.
Zany and crazy.
Good afternoon, or good
Afternoon, good evening,
depends
good
when
night.
you're listening to this. Actually, I found out recently, Paul. Oh wait, I'll do the introduction first. Hi, I'm Sam. Woo! And this is
Paul Quigley. Can we get an echo on that next week, Sam? Is that doable? Maybe we've got it going through the
It's
mic.
kind of hard when it's live. You do it, and then I'll do it at the back, and it'll be like an echo.
Now?
Yeah.
Thought we were going to wait till next week. Paul Quigley.
That didn't really work.
No. Why have you given me a pencil, Sam?
I couldn't find a pen.
Why have you given me any writing implement? I've wrote all the stuff I need.
Because this isn't...
Maybe I've not. I've wrote something there in my notes, and it looks like it says Blueies.
Well, we can
but it's not
we can come to
Blueies.
that in a minute.
I got a bit excited there.
No, I was going to say, I found out one of the reasons why we don't have many callers.
Why?
Am I too loud again? Fucking see this audio stuff. I can't stand it.
I always think it sounds fine, Sam. Stop stressing.
Yeah, I know. It's just once it's if it's shit just now, then it ruins the whole
Aye.
rest of the podcast.
That sounds okay to me anyway.
No, apparently this is, I've been told, a good show to listen to when you wake up in the morning on a Sunday on your day off.
Oh,
So
I always put that up on, like, I would share it in the mornings. On Sunday, I share it on the weekends anyway.
Yeah.
Like early. Who's this top tip from Number One Fan? Ryan Green?
No, from someone else.
Oh wow.
I'll leave them nameless to keep the air of mystery.
Oh well.
Yeah, so I mean we do get a lot of viewers, now, so it's just weird though that
what did they say? Sorry, it was good to listen to on a Sunday.
It's good to listen to, when you're on your day off and you wake up and you're just sort of coming to and getting your coffee and your breakfast and all that stuff, which I can see that.
Aye, man.
I get that. I don't know. Maybe there's other things on a Wednesday night. We didn't really think this through.
Well, I don't know what's on telly on Wednesday night. I know that Friday night used to be the comedy night on telly.
Yeah.
But I tried to watch it the other night and it's just shit. It's just, I don't know what's on.
Well, that's why I was like,
Channel 4.
we shouldn't do it on a Friday, because Friday night, everyone's out and everyone's doing this, and there's great stuff on TV.
Going to parties, sniffing glue, taking meth.
But then, you have to reel myself back in and go, wait a minute, it's not like 2002 or whenever TV was good, right?
Aye.
It's like, it's not like that anymore. Friday night's just kind of nothing, isn't it?
Aye, I know.
Or is that just us because we're older?
No, it is. It's just shit. I watched it the other night. I had a free Friday. Did I have a free Friday night? I must do. But it was shit. I was very disappointed with it. But no, I don't think anybody does much on a Wednesday. But I mean, it's handier for us on a Wednesday in case we need to go out on a Friday or something like that. In case we want to go out and sniff glue and take meth and whatever.
Yeah, no, Wednesday's the best day for us. But look, if you can't watch it live, who gives a shit?
I don't know where to look, Sam.
Cameras.
I never look at the cameras.
No,
I find it too awkward to look at the cameras.
I like to look our audience in the eye as I'm.
I don't. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed by them.
Stimulating them with my voice, but because we keep moving the cameras around, we're trying to find. In fact, write us in. Tell us what you think is the best camera angle
last
we've
week
had.
Apparently it was
what
shocking.
Episode?
Oh yeah.
I know. I thought we experimented last week. I didn't think it was that good. It's a weird sort of...
I look back at it and there were some bits that I was like fucking cut out, and then like after the dancing at the end, I think I knocked the cameras.
Yeah.
And it put it out.
Okay, just had to adjust myself there.
I
put the gain down because
you were so confident in these volumes earlier.
Yeah, I know. We're still playing around. We're still just fine tweaking it, because one of the weeks it was awful.
Was it?
Anyway, so what we got planned for this week?
Loads of stuff. Ryan Green's going to phone in.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
It was
he usually
fucking
does.
Surprise. Why isn't no one else phoning?
I've got some shout outs, Sam.
I keep looking down there for the fucking camera again.
I never look at the camera. It's too confusing. I've got two shout outs. The first shout out is goes to Colin. who was our 100th like on Facebook today.
Oh,
Colin Aitken.
I was going to say, you can't just do shout-outs, what's the reason, but you gave me a reason.
Can I tell you a funny story about Colin?
100th like, go ahead.
Right, Colin's a very angry man.
Right.
Is he angry? Aye, he's very cut the bullshit. He's a very angry man. And one night he was out, right? And he went home. And his mum, I think, had ran him into the town or something like that. I don't know what had happened. He went home. And he just was like, he'd forgot his... No. He had his keys. He was like banging the door, and no, he wasn't. He was just walking up, and they know. Sorry. I've not told the story in a while. And I'm so nervous with different camera angles. I've got so he's walking up to his front door, and he just hears, "Colin, is that you, Colin?" He's like, "Who the fuck is that?" Right, and he was like annoyed. Like he's annoyed. Right,
yeah, that's him.
Colin, and then like. And he's kind of renowned for this. I don't know if you'd call it violent anger, but he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, everything's for fucking hell. Like, everything's a lot of hassle in that to him. Right, and he's, I don't know if you'd say, but he's a bit of a mummy's boy. He's not really, but like, he's still like a wee boy, if you know what I mean. And she does like run about after him.
Is he going to be watching this?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're not doing a very good service
but
to
he likes the story.
100th like person. Like, he's a bit of a wee boy, but he's a fucking angry guy as well. Yeah, what?
But
so
it's hard to tell the story if you don't know him. But like, so he hears Colin, and then he's like, what the fuck is that? And he goes round the back, right, and his mum's like lying on the bench in the back garden with like a fucking towel that she took off the washing line over her, and he's like, what are you doing, Ma? And she's like, sorry, Sam.
Sorry.
She's like, I forgot my key, but I I didn't want to disturb your night out by phoning you. They'll come back and light me in, so I just stayed here.
So she was just hanging out
she
outside.
Just fucking like was on the bench with a with a towel over her.
Aye, that's a bit mad. That's not really his fault though, is it?
I know, but it's just funny. It's just funny the way he is, and then he's just kind of like even she's like afraid to anger him, if you know what I mean.
Oh well, then I guess if it's out of, I don't know. I mean, is she being overly? I don't know.
I don't know
what the word is.
It's just a funny story, Sam.
It is funny.
I like telling Colin stories.
So you've got a few of them.
I've got a lot of them. I could save them.
Yeah, it's the trouble though as well. Like, you need to make sure he's all right with this, because like.
Aye.
I've got loads of stories about a particular person, but I can't do any of them because
I can't even full name Colin now, eh?
Name call? Huh?
Like I can't even tell you his full name now because everyone send their message.
Oh, it's just a precautionary thing, you know what I mean? Probably no one cares.
Colin.
Probably no one's going to be like, oh,
I don't even know if they'd watch it. I just think...
But fuck you, they will know who he is because he's the 100th fucking like.
Aye, they will.
They'll just go on the Facebook page and... Oh wait, can they do that? I don't know.
They'll see him. I don't think there's many Collins on it.
Oh, stop helping them narrow it down.
Well, they know his name's
what
Colin.
What are you doing?
Fucking hell. It's not like they're all going to appear at his door. My second shout out is to Craigie. Do you remember Craigie from episode 2 that he phoned in and was doing all the why I man telling us about monkeys and that? He's in hospital.
Alright.
That's it. Just get well soon, Craig.
Why is he in hospital though, is it?
His finger got stuck up his anus.
So it was nothing to do with the vapours?
No. But I was reading Vapour News as well today, Sam.
Right.
If you want me to segue into that.
Now it's time, kids, for Vapour News. Vapor news.
Vapour.
Go on. Vapour News, the new segment.
I didn't really...
We're going to have another instalment of the North Korea segment as well,
I think. Shit. Korea's, so I'm loving Korea at the minute, Sam. Korea's my hot topic. Korea's the new black.
But go on to...
Can I say that? Vape News.
You can say whatever you want.
I never finished reading this, but first of all...
This isn't North Korea, this is Vape News.
This is Vape News. This is about dangers of why these like e-cigarettes are bad. Like, they were doing studies on them and to find out what was the problem with them. And first thing I thought when I read this article is I'm really confused. This is why I would actually say to Craig, I sent him an email and said, you need to phone him because I've got a question about this. Like, it's calling these e-cigarettes as vapor as well. And like, I always thought vapor was like, no, you see that ones and they look really distinctly different from like a cigarette, but folks smoke them. It's like got the wee canister of oil and that in it.
But it's like black or something with a light at the end.
Aye, but some of them are like clear and glass, and like you get pink ones for girls and blue ones for boys.
I've not seen any of the clear ones. All I've seen is the ones. I think there's ones that look like cigarettes.
Aye, I know there is, but there's
It was so crazy as well. Fucking one of my friends came round and he had this e-cigarette. It looked like a cigarette from a distance. If you hand up close, you know it's not.
Aye.
It was like, I don't know what he did. He like took off the top of it or something, and I don't know if he added something else to it or I don't know what he did, but he turned it into like this USB fucking stick.
Aye.
And he like put it in my computer
To charge it.
and I'm like,
Aye.
did he just put his cigarette?
It's like they split in half so you can charge it. Now you charge the top half of it, like the white bit, right? And that unscrews off, and then you plug that into a USB port and you charge it, right? Because that's the battery essentially. And the bottom bit, I think, must be where the vapor is. That's the bit that runs out, and you need to replace the filter looking bit.
Yeah.
Right. And now this is like where my confusion comes from, because this article is calling an e-cigarette like vape. Like it uses vapor as well, so it just must be in smaller quantities or something like that. But it was talking about it puts stuff in your lungs. I'm sure it was saying like there's like tin and stuff in it, and all kind like metals and stuff in it that you're inhaling, and like that's why it's unsafe. Like I didn't read it. I read a quick bit on it. Let me just see if I can skip through it. They're talking about advertising a lot about it, and but they didn't really know what was in them. They're just like, it's an alternative because it's cleaner, because there's not tar in it. But in order to get the vapor, there's apparently other stuff in it. You're breathing nicotine, volatile metals. There's apparently metals in the vapor. I'm sure there was like tin and for some reason I think copper. It was metals anyway, Sam. But that was it, and it was just saying how it was there. There is quite a bit of tin. Most of this material is composed of tin. There's also some oxygen, which not bad. Some copper and some nickel. So that's what's in it when you're inhaling it. Like it's not just like people like, oh, it's just nicotine. Like it's all the benefits of a cigarette without any of the cons. Like there's no tar or there's no shite in it, but then there is other stuff in it.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna have, I would assume anyway, when you see these people smoking vapors, you would think it's the reason they're doing it is it's safer than cigarettes. But it wouldn't make me think, oh, here's something healthy that they're doing.
Aye, that's I think that's a lot of people are duped into thinking that, like, now, they think it's,
I mean, it can be
healthier, not like,
it could still be unhealthy and not contain all the stuff that you're saying. So maybe that would still be surprising, like, oh, it has all this stuff in it. But I don't know, it's weird because, like, I'm always hearing these stories about, like, and I mean, I don't know how much of it's true, how much of it's acknowledged, how much of it's conspiracy theories, but you hear fucking horror stories about toothpaste. Like, toothpaste will have, what was it called? It's this rat poison stuff or something. It's like, I want to say fluoride or something like that.
That's in toothpaste.
Yeah, and so there's this big thing about, no, that this is like, it's really bad, it's like cancer causing, it's like all this stuff, and I think there's even, you know, documentaries on it where they show this town was like subjected to high doses of fluoride. It is fluoride. And but then they're saying, oh, fluoride's in the drinking water as well. Like if you buy water, if you
it's in that
water out the tap and all that stuff, it'll be.
I think it depends on, like,
and actually, well, you know what I mean. When you hear this stuff, you instantly think conspiracy theory. I'll tell you something I saw that was crazy though, and I can't remember which fucking documentary it was on, but there was a guy who turned on his tap, and like this was out of his sink, and he was like holding a lighter next to it, and the water was like, there was something flammable in it.
What, like, and just like you could do it in your sink now?
Yeah, it's not gonna go and just like you know, fire's just coming out, but it was just he's holding the lighter next to it, and every so often there'd be like this you know, like gust of a flame ball.
Where was this? What country was that in?
America, and I can't remember what documentary was that. If anyone knows what this is, what I'm talking about, I don't remember in what context it was in. I just remember seeing it on a film. So if you know what film it was, post it for everyone, because I can't fucking remember. But yeah, you always hear about weird stuff. Actually, one thing I got sent, and I was going to bring this up last week, but we just kind of ran out of time actually.
Oh, it was a biggie, Sammy.
Not necessarily a biggie, but I think it takes a little while to explain.
Right.
And I'm not clued up on the details of all. I was gonna like sort of take some notes, and so I could really kind of talk about it properly. And I don't know how new this information is as well, because I was telling my mum about it.
Right.
Another thing as well, watching back, when I watched these episodes back, I realised sometimes I talk too fast. So I'm going to say that again a bit slower. Right. I was talking to my mum about it. And apparently she was saying, she already kind of knew this stuff. And like from years ago, there was a big thing. So now I don't know if it's just this sort
Maybe
of
you've missed
theory or idea that's just reoccurring, you know.
Right.
But there's a video that was presenting this information, and it seemed like it was current and it was like a new thing. And it's all about sugar, right? And I think the videos...
Oh, you're watching that sugar... Was it the...
I think it's called like The Truth of Sugar or something like that.
I was going to say the Sugar Man thing, but that's something else.
No, Sugar Man's a different thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Sugar Man's... that's a documentary about a guy that... Well, we won't go into that.
But you'll know if you know.
Yeah, you'll know if you know.
But if you've not, check out the Sugar Man... What's it called? Searching for Sugar Man.
Searching for Sugar Man. That's a good documentary.
Look it up.
It is good. But no, this thing was like all about... it was going into, like, it was breaking down the timeline of when in America they had a high rate of heart disease or heart attacks. Everyone was fucking just dropping off like flies from heart attacks. In comparison to the rest of the world, they had the highest, you know. And so it was becoming a bit of an epidemic because it was a relatively new thing. Like, people are dying of all these heart attacks, and it's America's got the biggest rate in the world. I think they still do. And it was one of the presidents, Eisenhower or something like that, got a heart attack. And that's when the country then sort of freaked out.
Then they panicked.
And they were like, what's going on here? We need to cure this. What the fuck? So there was a few studies done, and they looked at other countries, and one of the guys who was looking into it, he looked at the countries with the lowest rate of heart attacks and looked at the diets and all that stuff, and concluded, which is now something that he kind of disagrees with. He thinks it was a sort of false thing that they jumped on. It was a false impression that they got from these studies. But at the time, they were looking at the countries with the lowest rates of heart attacks and their diet, and they found that the people with the lowest rate had the least amount of fats. And whereas America was like really big on fat, because, you know, fat's really easy to break down, and it carries like taste and all this stuff with it. So then it became this big thing where everyone was like, all right, that's it, that's the reason we're all getting heart attacks, is because of fat. So we're doing away with fat. And the companies then, the conglomerates, like all the food corporations and all that, who were previously using fat, now they were going out of business because no one would buy anything unless it said low fat, not fat. So they were looking for another way of being able to advertise it as low fat or non-fat, but still have it taste better than all the other products. And that's when they started, apparently this is when they started experimenting with sugar. Let's just pump loads of sugar into it. And they had to go through all sorts of clinical trials and things like that about showing that sugar wasn't harmful. And in all the early trials, from what I'm remembering about this, they were testing it on animals, farm animals, and all the animals were just dying and getting sick, and like, you know,
what, from the sugar?
Like, this is not fit for human consumption. There was a guy, they were saying he like trialed it on his dog, or he had 2 dogs, and there was like, one of them was getting sugar, one of them was just getting water, and the one that was getting sugar, just, I don't know if he died or if he came close to dying or whatever, and it was just like, this is not something that's good. And I think there's another, it wasn't necessarily sugar, but there was another thing, when they tried to synthetically, you know, or whatever the word is, they make their own, like, what did they call it? Artificial sweeteners.
Right, aye.
Because then sugar got a bad rap. But there was apparently another thing about, you know, sugar getting passed into law, and it was all sketchy and all that stuff, but loads of people maintain it's not good for human consumption and all that stuff, like we should not be eating it. Then they were making the artificial sweeteners, and they were saying they were testing that on fucking lab rats, and all the lab rats were getting like tumors and like it was really fucking bad. It was aspartame, that artificial sweetener, which is one of the, I don't know if it's one of the main ingredients, but when you think of aspartame, you think of Diet Cola. Right. And Diet Cola is...
Of course you do, Sam.
Well, when when people who look into aspartame, it always comes up Diet Cola.
Right. Okay.
It's like so if anyone's heard of aspartame, they'll probably have heard of that's what's in Diet Cola. It's the I can't say it's the main ingredient, but it's one of the main sweeteners or whatever. So and they're going on about how fucking just vile this thing is for you. It's like poison. It's like really fucking bad. People should not be consuming this stuff at all. And of course this is a long video. If you watch this Truth on Sugar, I'm kind of explaining like a briefer version of what the film, it's not really a film. It's a short video. I'm kind of explaining roughly what it contains. But the end sort of conclusion is this is why depression levels are up. This is why obesity's rising and people are more fatigued and all this stuff. And I mean, it might be bullshit. It might just be a video that's up there that's convincing, and maybe someone will have a reason as to why it's wrong or whatever.
Aye.
But their conclusion is that you've got billions or trillions or whatever of microbacteria, and one of these bacteria that you have in your intestine is it Candida or something? I think it's called Candida. And they're saying this.
You're bringing the pain with the big words tonight, Sammy.
Well, this. I don't know anything about it. I just watched this video and was like, oh, that's interesting.
I was going to check it out when you actually put it up, but I just never had time.
Well, it's a good job you didn't, because then we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Aye.
But so they're saying that this Candida thing, it basically becomes like a not a cancer, like a what do they call it? Like a like a pest, like there's a word for it,
Like a virus, a bug,
not
infection?
a virus, but like they use a word for it. I can't remember. Mine's going blank. But they're saying that this thing basically lives off of sugar, and
it lives inside you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've already got like billions of different bacteria, but this particular one becomes dominant then.
Right.
And they're saying that you have a ratio of like maybe 80% good bacteria, 20% bad bacteria, and that this Candida is one of the bad ones. That then if you start feeding it, then it sort of dominates and takes over, and it ends up like spawning, becoming more bigger and all this stuff. So
Holy shit.
There's loads of them. Parasite, that's the fucking word
Aye.
I was looking for. Because it basically becomes like a parasite, and so this is what their conclusion
like
is.
It's feeding off its host kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Pest, I was calling it. Right, so parasite. So that's their thing. They're saying this thing's inside us. This is why cancer rates are going up. All this stuff is all related to this, supposedly. So then the conclusion is what you need to do is you need to have more probiotics.
And what about like natural cane sugar? That's supposed to be quite, well, not good for you, but better.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what they're. I don't know the difference between different types of sugar, because I know there's like fructose, which you get in
because
fruit.
I think like the granulate sugar that you would eat, like you'd put in your coffee or whatever, like that's like being processed, I think, to a degree.
That's the sugar that they're talking about.
I see. That's what I'm saying. Like you get this, you can get like from the cane sugar, and it's like more natural. Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be like corn off the cob versus corn in a tin.
From what I've heard, there isn't one that they point to and go, "This one's okay."
Right. Okay.
The only thing that's a sweetener that I've heard is all right. I think it's called sativa. And that's kind of the only one that is recommended by all these the people that talk about this stuff.
Oh my god!
I think it's sativa is the only one that kind of you should go with. But everything else is fuck that. That's not for human consumption. It's really, really bad for us. Sugar
and sweeteners.
Yeah, well, all the artificial sweeteners are sort of trying to, apparently they're worse. Because they most of them have got this fucking aspartame, which if you just type in aspartame, there'll be a documentary in and of itself about why that's bad.
So aspartame's the stuff that feeds the parasite.
And sugar,
yeah. Right? Fucking hell.
Apparently this parasite they were saying it's a yeast parasite or something like that. So yeah, apparently. So what you want to do is this is what they're trying to sell you. They're trying to say what you want to do is you want to have more probiotics. So the way you get probiotics is eating healthy, carrots, fucking all that shit.
Yakult.
Yakult. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, Actimel, probably.
I think it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It might be a different thing, but yeah, I've got Actimel. I love Actimel.
I was thinking the other day, I wish they made big bottles of Actimel because I think it's fucking delicious. But you like just get a wee one and you're like,
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed. Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to have.
Yop's kind of the same thing. Well, it's not really. It's just yogurt.
Yeah, no, fuck Yop.
I like Yop. Yop's lovely.
No.
How?
I had a huge fallout over this fucking thing, and it wasn't actually to do with that, but it got made out. I feel like I should explain it. You know,
I'm really interested to hear this. You've got some crazy beef with Yop.
No, but I don't really. But it's kind of been twisted to look that way, right?
What is this?
So, it was one night we were like all having this big family dinner,
mm-hmm.
and everyone was getting takeaways, and they were all going out and to the shop and all that stuff. And I got asked if I wanted a drink, and I was kind of like, no, I'm alright. I'm not really having anything. And
you're
so,
like, I want a drink, but I also want a yogurt at the same time.
No.
And somebody's like, Yop, and you're like, Yop.
No.
Right.
See, I can't really tell the story in its entirety.
Without naming names.
Yeah, but
okay.
But no, it was basically I didn't want anything. But then as they were going out the door, I said, "Oh, do you know what? If you're going to that shop, can you get me the Yazoo, the strawberry Yazoo? I like that."
Oh, and they got your Yop by mistake.
Yeah. Right. Now that's all right. My reaction was, "Oh no, that's not the right thing." Like, sorry, no. And they're like, "We'll just have that." And I was like, "No, I really don't like that because it's not a milkshake. It's a yogurt. It's a completely different thing."
Animal.
Now
Sam.
they look the same because they're in a similar bottle, same colours, all that stuff. Easy mistake
Start
to make.
with the same letter.
Yeah. So easy mistake to make. Now the thing is, I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't whatever. But because I wouldn't drink it, the person who had bought it got annoyed with me, and they were like, "What do you mean you won't drink it?" And I was like, "No, I don't drink that." And they're like, oh, and you could see them get annoyed with me. So I thought it was so silly, and so like I started putting it on the floor, like just being annoying or whatever, right? And then the person who I'm not going to name got really serious about it, started like kind of snapping at me, telling me to fuck off.
Are we getting too far into this story, Sam?
Well, then this is what happened. So this is the end, right? But I was basically fuck off. You telling me to fuck off, like you're just going to talk to me like that. That's fine, okay, whatever. So I got really annoyed with them back because I'm like, okay, you can be annoyed with me. You did fucking tell me to fuck off, like, and so like the thing is they'd bought the dinner as well, so it's this imposed. I'm supposed to be grateful, then so you can tell me to fuck off, and it's just accepted. Because you've bought me my dinner. And
a Yop.
And a
that
Yop.
You didn't fucking want.
And a Yop. But because I put the Yop on the floor and I was like, no, I don't drink it, it was totally seen as like, I'm ungrateful or that it actually tried to get framed as like, I was annoyed because they didn't buy me the right drink. And I'm like, I don't care about the drink.
I know what you mean.
Whatever. I put it on the floor. I didn't want a drink to begin with. It was only just, if you're going there, you can maybe get me that because I might drink it. So I put it on the floor and this person started getting kind of annoyed, told me to fuck off, and I was like, fuck off, you tell me to fuck off, are you serious? And they said again, like, fuck off. And I was like, oh, really, fuck off. And I was like, well, there's your dinner. And I threw the thing that was bought for me in there, because it's like, just because you bought me that, don't think that now you can switch roles and treat me like, oh, you can just tell me to fuck off like that, talk down to me and look at me with that scowl. So that should have been the end of the story. Oh, Sam got annoyed, someone told him to fuck off, and he just was like, oh yeah, I fuck off, you fuck off. Right, that should have been the end of it. What it then got spinned into was, yeah, Sam got really annoyed because we didn't get him the right drink.
Aye.
And I'm like, what? And it was like, oh, this fucking... So then this story was following me around, and it got... And like, people came up to me, and they're like, oh yeah, man, I heard about
How'd you don't like Yop?
Yeah, I heard about the thing with the Yop.
Like you're a racist or something?
Yeah.
I hear you're a racist now, Sam.
Yeah. No, people did. People came up to me and they were like, oh, fucking, I heard about the thing with the Yop, yeah. That's crazy, man. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I can't even stand this.
People were buying you Yops as jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Now I've got this fucking association with Yop, like as if I'm the guy that just hates Yop.
Sam, I never knew that story, and now everybody knows that story. I've never heard that Yop story before.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not the best thing to mention on a podcast, because now people are just going to be like,
He fucking
there's
hates
the
you.
fucking Yop guy and sending me pictures of Yop.
Sending you pictures of Yop.
If you want to be an asshole, send me a picture of Yop, but if you want to be a nice guy, send me a...
If you want to be a nice guy, send me a picture of Yop. I fucking love
I
Yop.
don't like Yop. I was going to say send me a bottle of Yazoo.
What would you do if I was sitting here drinking Yop?
Oh, I'd go mental, Paul.
Oh no, I'm sitting drinking my Yop one night. You've got your Yazoo, and then because the bottles look similar, we get mixed up, and you vomit Yop everywhere, all over Ryan Green's face in the iPad.
Wonder what drink Ryan Green likes.
I think he'd probably like Yop.
You think he's a Yop guy?
Mm-hmm.
I hope not, man. I'm not trying to sway his opinion here, but nah, fuck Yop. No, I don't care. No, like fucking people like Yop. They like Yop. I just don't like it. And it was not, and it's now because of this association. It's now I fucking hate it.
Now you really hate it.
Now I'm like, fuck you, Yop.
Campaigning
Why did you
against
have to exist? Anyway, what were we talking about before that? There was a reason you were talking about.
Oh, Yakult. I said
Yakult,
it'd be
that's
good
right.
if they made really big Yakults, because it'd be just like Yop,
Yeah.
and then you.
And
were
then
like,
I was like,
fucking
oh,
hate Yop.
no, fucking, don't get me started again.
What about other kind of yogurts?
You know what? I had a fucking massive craving, like just like a week ago. I haven't had yogurt probably for about like 10 years. Like,
Fuck off!
no,
What a mental thing you said.
no, well,
10 years.
no, probably not as long as that, but it felt like such a long time since I've ever had a yogurt. When was the last time anyone had yogurt?
I had
don't
a
know.
yogurt tonight.
Yeah, well, people do though, right? I just never really had yogurt, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I out of nowhere got this craving for like banana yogurt.
Mm.
Just think of that right now, banana yogurt.
Aye.
How good would that? Oh,
I had
And so-
banana in the yogurt tonight.
what you just dipped a banana in?
No, like
Because that's not the same thing.
I did like a banana for Libby, but like mashed it up a wee bit further because it was kind of right, and then I put it in my yogurt, and I was like, she'll like that, all fruit and yogurt and stuff like that, like a wee, almost like a fruit salad and stuff, but she didn't want it, so it can't have been that nice. But I thought it was quite nice. So,
fruit and yogurt. It's always a good,
mhm.
but banana flavoured yogurt. Oh, I just
Aye,
get
banana
craving
flavoured
for
yogurt
that.
would be nice.
Do you know what else I like as well? Pete, I was talking to my brother. My brother doesn't like this for some reason.
What?
Vanilla flavoured yogurt.
I was just about to say, do you know what I love? Vanilla milkshakes from McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, even like in Asda they do this. We're totally selling fucking products here. No, in Asda they do this thing. It's like, it's not a milkshake. It's just
I bet everybody's sitting home getting really hungry right now.
no. This is Sunday morning. They're enjoying their breakfast. Like,
Aye.
oh yeah, fucking yogurt would go good with this.
Aye, like that thing when you put on the telly. Like I've got this thing. See when I'm watching like wanting to look at something on telly. Sometimes I'll put Dave on, and if it's Man vs Food on, I'm like, I'm hungry and I know that I've not got anything to eat, so I won't watch it. But if I've got food and I put it on, it's on. I'm like, I can watch this and enjoy it because I'm not going to get fucking hungry watching it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? That's what it's like. So they're enjoying it. They're loving it.
That guy
Fucking-
got really thin.
Aye,
The
did.
guy that did it.
Do you know how many times I spoke about this guy losing weight
Yeah.
recently? Quite a lot. I was speaking to some guy, went out and met up with some old friends the other night, and like this guy, we were talking about that, like the guy losing weight. He was like, "Oh, you see him in like series 1 and series 2, and he's quite heavy, but then in series 3, he fucking like loses off." And I'm like, what a weird thing to watch by series. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like Friends or something. It's
No,
not
you
like
just
others.
fucking, if it's on, it's on.
He just happens
It's
to
so
be eating
fucking-
something.
I thought it was really weird.
Yeah, no, I was dieting quite a while back there,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to always watch that program.
I love it. I think
Like-
it's really good.
Oh yeah, it does get you hungry though.
Mm-hmm.
But
I always want to try a Philly cheesesteak or chili fries or like a chili
yeah,
dog
they have
or
all this
something.
stuff in America that we just don't have here.
Aye.
You see it and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Aye, man. I'd go on an eating binge. I tried to make they've got this thing in Canada called poutine,
Right.
and it's like chips and gravy with like mozzarella or something.
And it just looks like poo, is it?
I must do because they call it poutine. But it was quite nice. But like obviously, like I think our gravy's different.
Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
No, I don't know.
Put it in your mouth.
But that's a lot of crazy shit as well we could be talking about.
What?
Vladimir Putin and
Well, Ukraine and that,
yeah.
and Crimea.
But
I've not been actually keeping up with that, Sam. I do kind of go through stages of watching it, and then I think I'm going to keep up with this because it's interesting. It's like
I don't know how much
current in that.
Yeah, I don't know how much has developed like recently and everything. But
Huh?
from what I've seen, he was like, it was so crazy. Well, did I finish off the sugar story first before I
I
started
think
this
you
new
did.
story?
Aye, you did. But you were going.
No. I was going to say though, the one thing about it was
You were going to say something else that you completely forgot about from even before
wait.
the sugar story.
Oh, well, remind me of that in a second. I'm jumping all about here. So to end the sugar story, it was they're saying take probiotics and it's eating all this stuff. But
What, like Yakult?
yeah.
Do you know?
Hold
what's
on.
really good, Sam?
No, but what I was going to say though is they make the point in the film, having that kind of diet is not the easiest thing
No.
in this day and age with everything so fucking, if you want to use the word, contaminated with
The sugar.
like sugar and whatever else.
Mhm.
It's not easy to be on a strictly healthy diet. All the healthier stuff's fucking more expensive as well.
Aye.
But they're saying, guess what you could do is you can actually get capsules, the probiotic capsules, get them, and you can kind of just maintain the eating style. And what will happen is over time, you'll start to then crave less and less of the junk food.
Aye.
So I
Really?
don't know. I don't know if it works. I don't know to what degree it's
I suppose
bullshit.
it's an addiction as well at some point.
But yeah, so I went off. I got my probiotic tablets
Aye.
just to see if I do change any sort of addiction patterns and all that stuff.
Oh, you
Well,
know
not
let us know how that goes,
craving patterns. But
Mhm.
so that was the end of that thing. What was the?
The first thing was you're going to talk about I know why people haven't been phoning into their Skype or something like that.
Oh no, I mentioned that's just because they're not watching it just now.
Oh,
Because
that's
they're
okay
watching
then.
on the Sunday.
That's no problem.
You
You can still you've still got the Facebook, like send us private messages on Facebook, and we do have an email address as well, but I don't think we've ever really had any need to give that out when they can just do the Facebook.
Nah, it's easier for Facebook. But yeah, no, the fucking Vladimir Putin and all that stuff. What I saw of it was quite crazy though, because it's like he's denying that
Aye.
there's the Russian military is there, and
But they've took over like air bases and naval bases and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
well, he got asked about it because there was people went in and spoke to him, and here's this Russian guard, and the guy says to him, "And where are you from?" And he's like, "Russia."
Mhm.
Right? Then it cuts to Vladimir Putin's like in this sort of press conference thing, or it was a weird fucking thing, this press conference, because you know what he did at the start.
What?
It was like he goes, "I don't want this to be like an interview. I want this to be more like a conversation, right?
Right.
So I want you to all like tell me all your questions. I'm going to write them all down, and then I'll answer them, right? Because it's more like a conversation that way, right?" So so a few people ask questions. He writes down about 3 questions, and he goes, "Okay, stop. I think we'll stop there." So he's like,
Oh no.
whole half the room haven't even asked their questions.
Right.
Then he goes, "Okay, so now I'm going to respond to these. Don't interrupt me."
Really?
Fucking, why even say
He's
it's
a fucking ballsy guy then, eh?
yeah. But the question about we've seen these Russian guards in where is it?
Crimea.
We've seen the Russian guards there.
Mm-hmm.
What's your answer to that? He goes, "Well, these Russian military uniforms, anyone can buy them in a shop."
Right.
So what? Is his answer that? Oh, because there's thousands of them.
Uh-huh.
There's thousands of guards.
Aye, I
They've
know.
just all went off and bought all this uniform online in bulk, and then I guess went off and learned Russia because that's fucking easy.
I know. It's fucking nuts. Like apparently because of where Crimea is, like Russia doesn't have an all year round freshwater like base that goes into the sea like for their navy and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
Crimea
yeah.
does have, and there was the Crimean War as well, but I don't really know. Like I think that was a bit before our time.
I'm not sure.
The Crimean War, but I think this is all funny. Like how, like this has just happened like in the wake of like the Winter Olympics and like that's all there. Like was it like supposed to be like a like I don't know, like fucking somebody's doing a magic trick and trying to rob you at the same time, like try to pickpocket you? Like is that what it's like? Like they're fucking trying to like going na 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 na
Oh, yeah,
na
I get
na
you, yeah.
na taking your watch na 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 na. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
weird, like, but then everybody's just like the way I remember it was like on the news is like everybody's like, oh fucking like Russian the Winter Olympics and all that kind of stuff, and there's a wee bit of controversy at the start because the whole gay pride and all that kind of stuff, like they're very anti-homosexual, and then next thing they're like fucking like Crimea's getting invaded down here, by the way. And I was like, oh, really? But then the Olympics are still going on.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Like, they're holding this, like, worldwide event whilst invading
whilst-
another country.
That's ballsy. That's what it is.
It really is fucking ballsy. I
No.
respect them, Sam.
Well, do you know what I mean? I would jokingly say that as well, but the reason I'm not is like it's this thing now that's being used by all the American Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
All the Republicans are like talking about how great he is.
Who? Putin.
They're all talking about like how brilliant he is because he's so ballsy. He doesn't care, and he's making it. And they're basically using him as a way to. It's not.
But
It's
then
not that
are they
they
not
look.
trying to find some way of interjecting into this war as well?
The Americans are.
America.
But this is the American republics. This is like the right wing, like just I don't know. You know what they're like, and it's not even that they really do like them or whatever. It's just that they can say that because then it's a roundabout way of saying Obama's weak, Obama's this, you know. And it's like we had a president like him, like blah blah blah. So they're all jumping on board with kind of what you just said, like oh, he's I respect him.
It's
like
a
all this
fucking mad thing to do, though, eh? Like,
Oh
it is
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
ballsy.
yeah. I mean,
But I mean, you wonder how much that was noticed, like in 1939 or whatever it was when Hitler was doing it. Do you know what I mean?
because it's a gradual thing as well. Like, you know, taking on. There was a video actually of, I don't know how accurate it was, but it was like a timeline of all the different borders, all the different borderlines
And during the war.
during. I think it's like the last 100 years or something.
I know I've seen one of like Germany in World War Two, like, and it's fucking like it's huge that country goes because it goes like right out to Poland and all that kind of stuff. It's massive.
It's funny watching it in a timeline though, because it does look like something that's alive. It looks like something that's breathing, you know.
The way it like expands and that.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought was funny as well about this Russian thing is like you've got Russia and then Ukraine and then Crimea is at the bottom of Ukraine. And then when it was first talking about it, like I'd never really looked at like Crimea on a map, but like it's this wee fucking like bit of land that comes off the bottom of Ukraine.
It could
And I'm
almost
like,
be independent from
yeah,
Ukraine.
but I'm like, why the fuck have they just skipped Ukraine? Like, why not go right through?
Well, they
Like,
don't want Ukraine. They just want that bit for the sea.
Aye, that's exactly what it is. But it's funny because they're like, Russia's here and here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's fucking all Russia. Like there's a bit of fucking Russia there.
Yeah. What else?
Korea news. Dun 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 dun. DPRK.
Oh, actually, before we go on to that, because that's another foreign policy.
I've got
thing.
a wee Korean snippet as well that wasn't in the documentary that we were watching recently, Sam.
What, do you want to go straight into that?
Yeah.
I had a little thing that I wanted to.
Is it
tell you
Korean
about.
based?
No.
Where is it based in the world?
I don't know. It's like kind of global thing, really.
Oh my god!
No, it's we were talking last week. We were talking about the Oculus Rift.
Oh, I've got Oculus.
Ow.
Sorry, Sam.
I don't know if I need to fucking adjust these
I
volumes.
think you do, every time I make a move or something, you're like,
Yeah.
"Grr."
It's
I've
weird,
got a wee
this
pots and
fucking takes
pans
it out,
drum kit hidden under the table, Sam. Here, like I put down a fucking. That's what I put down, and you're like, "Grr."
No. What it
Oculus
is that we were talking about the Oculus Rift,
Mhm.
and apparently I tried looking for it. My friend was telling me about it. Apparently, Facebook
Yes.
have just acquired them.
And do you know what the craziest thing is, right? Did you see the numbers in that?
I just got told about it.
Right. Oculus Rift, like I heard about this as well, but I'd seen like more of an article on it. Oculus Rift was funded by a Kickstarter,
Yeah.
right? And they raised I looked at it today and it's sitting at like 2.4 million they've raised for it. And then they just sold to Facebook for 2 billion.
Yeah.
And the Kickstarter people are pissed.
They're pissed.
Because they fucking like they've obviously funded this. Like and they've like everybody's like donated 2.4 million.
Oh, sorry, the
profits.
people that yeah.
And then they're like, well, we're just like, you've gave us like 2.4 million to like generate this technology and make it and fucking make it work and all that kind of stuff with the money you've gave us. Well, now we're going to sell it for $2 billion.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And you're getting none of that.
That's mentally.
Who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe if the thing is, if you donated like 100,000, they might come and say to you like, at the very least,
give a big one.
here's your 100,000 back. You know, but I guess maybe they're under no obligation to do that.
No,
maybe that's
I don't
part
think
of
it is like
the
a
risk.
contractual thing. I know some people that like do movies through Kickstarter, like, or like if you do like a big donation, like you'll get your name in the credits or something like that. Do you know what I mean? If somebody's doing like a privately funded movie, but I just thought that's mental. And then what the hell are Facebook going to do with it?
Yeah.
But then people are saying like as well now, like because of that, they're like, well, now the Project Morpheus, the PlayStation one, they're like, now that'll be the fucking main one.
The Morpheus one.
Aye, because like I think a lot of people were saying that like that's like it could have been this incredible technology and like used as like real immersive game, and then they've just like gave it to Facebook, and then people are like, what's Facebook going to do with it? Like what they do with it will come out. Do you know what I mean? Well, and you probably still be able to use it for like for things, but a lot of people are just like, well, now Sony can soldier on and do the job that Oculus Rift never did and all that kind of stuff.
It's weird though, actually, like, because I had this. Am I loud enough? If I had this project, and I was working on this a while back, called Earth Hub, and I'm sure
we're to turn our Skype on.
Oh yeah, we've still got 15 minutes, but
still got 50 minutes, Ryan.
Yeah, no. So I was working on a project for people who don't know called Earth Hub, which was, and I guess to an extent still is, an attempt to have this like a sort of social media hub. Not even social media, but it'd be, you could use it to, in a way, it'd be like an interactive Google Street View, but you'd also have your profile, like a Facebook account and all this stuff. And so one of the little windows, if people want to see what I'm talking about, want to see just what it looks like, is nowhere near finished. It's still in its beta stage.
Yeah.
But I think it's either earthhub.co.uk or earthhub.org. One of them's working, and you can see what it kind of looks like. And the idea is I had this drop down where you can then select anywhere in the world that you want. I'm using the Google Maps system to then take you wherever you want to be. The idea will be, though, that once you go there, you can sort of look through all the businesses, you can search for things, and it's just a way of interacting with and using the technology that's out there already. And one of the ideas that was like, how awesome would it be way in the future if this did get big and everything, people liked it and they liked interacting this way. You would have it would be like a video game, right? You could, rather than just have a Google Street View, everything would be like, there would be the tree would be a game object, a proper tree that you could walk around and everything, like really look around. And then when all the Oculus Rift stuff started coming up, I was like, that would be fascinating if in the future you could have almost a replica of the real world in real time.
Imagine it.
And then, because we all think about these games, like, you put the headset on and you can go to like a poker room somewhere and play with your friends. We've talked about that.
Aye.
But what's the point in 20 different companies creating 20 different poker rooms and having all that stuff when you could have...
You could go to Vegas.
You could go to Vegas, and it would be... The world that you're in would be uniform if it was everyone was on the same page, kind of thing. Well, the thing is, you need the infrastructure to even think about doing that. I was being ambitious, even with just Earth Hub the way it is. It's ambitious, and it's going to cost a bit of money to get off the ground and everything. But I haven't given up on it yet. But it's still in its most extremely early stages of what it's supposed to be. People are probably, the Alex Jones types, they're probably freaking out by it. What is this New World Order mind control bullshit? But so that's what that is. Now, Facebook has an infrastructure, and I always thought, like, because my thing's more like if Google Earth and Facebook just like smash together, and add in a few other things. This is what my site kind of looks like. But Facebook have now got this Oculus Rift. They might end up finding a way of doing that, and it would look completely different to what my site looks like. But maybe they bought it. I mean, they bought it for a reason.
Aye, they must. I think like his reason behind it was because it's innovative new technology, and he's like thinking about the things of what could be done with it. Right. I don't think he says, "Oh, we're going to have this and we're going to do that and this and that."
Yeah, there's probably no immediate plans to put into action. But just the fact that it is now owned by Facebook, and that Facebook have the infrastructure that they have. You might end up turning on Facebook one day and there'll be a little option of, go live or whatever. Yeah. And all of a sudden now you're in, like that episode of South Park. We always end up talking about South Park as well. There was that episode where Stan gets sucked into Facebook and he's walking around you know, and everyone's talking to him like, "Hey, like my status."
Aye.
Like, I'm gonna poke you now. You know, all this weird Facebook banter, like, but he's walking around. Who knows? You might end up with this Oculus Rift where now, I think it'd be put to better use than just having, you know,
Aye,
a
I think
Facebook
that's what
world.
people are saying about the Sony thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would rather it be put to better use.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is now, whatever potential it had can surely only be bigger now because they've got billions behind it, you know, and they bought it for billions.
Aye.
So they're gonna have to do something with it. They're gonna have to.
Especially if they paid it that much, they must really fucking want to do it. I don't know what Mark Zuckerberg's saying about it, but
I don't know. But any like developments with the Oculus Rift, I usually pay a bit of attention to because I don't know. It's just fascinating. It's a cool piece of technology.
I seen a thing as well about it when I was looking at it today, and I watched this. It was a YouTube video I sent you about just about how the virtual reality kind of confuses your brain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As into what's real and what's not. But then I was looking at this thing and it was talking about phantom limbs or phantom limb pain, and it's for people like, say, like somebody's loses an arm. They might sometimes feel like a phantom feeling in their arm.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And they're like, they say that they could use this for therapy because like the person could put this on and effectively have an arm.
Yeah.
Where there isn't an arm.
Yeah.
And like to kind of act with or against the pains and that they feel in the arm. It's quite crazy.
Well, that's it. If it can be used for
they'll find so many ways of using it as well. Like, I mean, imagine like they spend all this money on like simulators and stuff like that for various different things. Like in that video as well, they're talking about like you can have like no there'd be balls in that or whatever, like so it knows where your hands are in relation to your head and that. Like, imagine they could use that for teaching people surgery, how to do surgery or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, if the like obviously like, graphics and all that would need to, like, somebody would need to write a dedicated program. They would need to have all this kind of stuff, but they could.
Well, I mean, you know,
simulate a lot of things.
Because right now, I guess for surgery, they would have this fake, you know, body. But probably the environment you're in, you know, you're in an educational environment. It's probably like a classroom, and you know all this stuff.
Aye.
I don't know how well they really simulate what it would be like to be
in there.
But whereas the virtual reality, it's not just now it looks like a real body. You could have all this other people walking around, all the distractions that would come with that.
Aye.
I guess in surgery, you know, you're not gonna. It's not going to be like, you know,
you're trained to
proper
zone in
people.
on it, do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be like people walking about the corridor. Like, that'll be blocked off and that stuff. But like, you know, you could
people
simulate
going by shouting for a butt scratcher, butt scratcher.
But you'd have people like across from you that are like, you know, maybe they're not even talking to you, but maybe they're just looking at you like kind of.
I think that seeing that video as well, it was saying about there's a thing called it was to do with how real you perceive things, how real you perceive something is, and like when they measure this kind of thing, whatever it is in your brain about how real it is, like it still knows it's fake, but there is a degree of it that's like, is this real? Yeah, like there is a kind of percentage thing.
Yeah, I mean they're talking about like, you know, all your different senses, and like even the way that you I think they were talking about balance has a lot to do with it. Aye. But I think, you know, covering 2 out of 3, you know, your sight and your hearing, like that's enough to sort of overpower, I would imagine.
To a degree,
yeah. I can't wait to see them.
Do you remember that thing that you used to be able to get in? It was you had to put your headphones in, and it was like a virtual barbershop. And you could like sit there and like you just put your headphones in, and it'd be like, right, close your eyes, and you could hear like somebody going
oh yeah.
And it would actually feel like somebody was cutting your hair, and it was just through audio. That was quite mad as well. Talking about simulators, Sam.
Okay.
Have you heard of this fucking thing? This goat simulator carry on. Fuck it, like I don't even understand it. There's a thing and it's called Goat Simulator, and I think they must have made like a dummy game or like a beta game or something for this, or like a demo. But now they released the full game, Goat Simulator, and you're a goat and you go about and you can like jump and like lick stuff, and you can pick up like an axe with your tongue and like make people go flying and then run about causing havoc as a goat.
So it's like a game.
kinda.
Well, see, they have.
I don't know. It is a game, but it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, but you're a goat.
Yeah. Well, what I mean though is,
I'm like, it's really weird.
But when
But
you're-
apparently
when
there's a
you're-
big craze about it now.
well, I'm saying if you're saying you can do things that are like outrageous, like lick someone and they go flying or whatever.
Mhm. Climb ladders and jump off cranes as a goat.
Yeah.
Brr.
But I mean, how realistic is it?
Oh, it's not like supposed to be like an aircraft simulator where you're like,
Well, because this is what I was going to say though. There's like so many of these simulator games where, and this is crazy. If people haven't seen any of this, you go on Bus Driver Simulator,
aye,
and it's all the game is, and it's from what I can remember, it's done to a degree where it looks kind of realistic.
Mhm.
It is done kind of well,
aye,
but all you're doing is like driving this bus,
aye.
picking people up, and I guess they're great for.
There must be some people that play them.
I think they're
this
used
is like I've written the piss out of that kind of thing, like
Yeah.
the farming simulator. And I know there's one that's
But are
like
they
a
not
Euro
used for
truck
training?
driver. Aye, I think to a degree, but like you can just buy them for your PC at home.
Yeah.
But like I know there's one like Euro truck driver, and you can basically like drive for like London to like fucking somewhere in Spain. Just fucking driving along the roads.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I guess they are useful if you're going to be taking those routes or whatever it is that you're going to be doing. But
I think this is just a rip the piss kind of thing. Like, why
yeah,
would you
yeah.
fucking,
Well,
like,
you're
a
never
goat
gonna
simulator?
like
Aye.
have a job
How
where
to be
it
a goat.
involves.
It's fucking. I was watching the video and it's just fucking. It's
Yeah.
quite chaotic. Look
Oh.
it up if you've not already, but it's quite mental.
I'll need to see that goat
Goat simulator.
and it's getting a bit of buzz.
I think no, there's like it's one of these internet things. No, like the internet people are like loving it, and people are going mad over it, like bronies or whatever. Which I still don't know what bronies is. If somebody does know what bronies is, can they find like I don't want to read about it. I would like to speak to a brony ideally.
Straight from the brony's mouth.
Aye,
That's
or
what you
if
want
somebody
to-
that knows a brony, or some. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird that it's even a real thing. For in case anyone doesn't know, bronies are. Am I right? They're people that are obsessed with My Little Pony.
I
Is that
think
right?
so, but they're like grown men and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I see it on Reddit sometimes, and I'm like, there was like a thing, and it was like this guy, and he'd ordered a costume of a brony, and he was like, my wife isn't too pleased at my new costume or something, and it's this massive guy that's like not like a looker, looks like an internet guy,
Yeah.
and he's standing in like a fucking like blue horse costume with
just-
like a wee rucksack on it, and you're like,
It just goes to show you them. I mean, people, especially if they find a bit of solidarity with it,
aye,
like people will get into anything. I mean, look at all the fucking cults across the world where people are
Nazis.
like Nazis. Good example.
Nazis are the fucking can be called into any argument, Sam.
Did we talk about Fred Phelps? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
You know about this?
Yeah, died.
Yeah.
He died. Did they pick at his funeral?
I'm not sure because I've not really looked that much into it. I mean, I don't know when his funeral was or if it's even happened yet.
You think they would?
Although there was a thing that I saw that was not advertised. The article said, "This is Fred Phelps' funeral. This is what people did." But I don't think that was his funeral. I think it was something else. So I'll explain that in a minute. But when he died, there was like, what was the name of the band? There was a band. Slayer, was it Slayer?
It could have been. Slayer as a band.
There was a band. I'm not sure if it was Slayer, but one of the bands was going to protest his funeral,
Right.
and it was going to be like, you did this to all these people, we're going to do this to you. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, fucking yeah,
You
man.
should.
Slayer going
Aye.
out, da-da-da-da-da. Like, that would be epic because it'd show them blah, 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 right?
Aye.
That was my first reaction. Then I completely 180'd my...
No, Sam, why?
180'd my opinion when I saw what actually happened. Like, I said,
Did
this...
Fred Phelps hate you up too, Sam?
No, this wasn't at the funeral, right?
Right.
This, as far as I know, this was, again, it was a concert.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Slayer though. I think it was someone else. It was a concert, and the Westboro Baptist Church show up to protest it because this is what they do, So a bunch of people, no one, I guess, they read on the website or whatever, they knew that they were going to come. They show up with a sign. You've probably seen this because it's been posted everywhere. Thank you. Sorry for your loss.
Right.
Something
Aye,
to,
I have
something
seen
to
that.
that
Aye.
effect. And I just looked at it and I was like, wow, that's so much more powerful. That's so much
Aye,
like
it is.
we're not. We could easily just do what you did to us and show you how fucking horrible it feels, and you're gonna have the whole world against you to deal with now because we're gonna get fucking Slayer, we're gonna get Metallica, we're gonna get all our badasses, and we're gonna like just fucking drown you out.
Oh, the badasses.
Like, you know what I mean though? That's the sort of feeling that you got. Oh
Aye.
yeah, fuck you. We're gonna show you that we are stronger than you.
Aye.
But
With metal.
Tenacious D at the forefront. You can't kill the metal. Anyway, so that was my first reaction. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Then when you saw the idea of no,
Aye.
take the fucking higher ground.
Sorry for your
Sorry
loss.
for your loss. Not even
Because they would have been expecting that.
Yeah, we're not even going to make it. That's the only thing I think. Because if you just play band music at them, they're just going to think all these fucking sinners. Yet they're getting exactly what's coming to them. You're not going to change them. Whereas if you go up with the sign saying we're really sorry for your loss,
You're not doing anything, but they're like,
there has to be some people in the Westboro Baptist Church that go,
thank
what?
you. Aye.
Like, wait a minute.
Aye.
That's not what I thought people were. We were
Nah,
taught
I
these
know.
are horrible, sinful, lesbian troglodytes. This is
Even the men.
but yeah, the thank you for your loss thing. I thought that's way better. That's fucking way better.
Sorry for your loss, Sam. Not thank you for your loss.
Why do I keep saying that? Thank
know.
you for your loss. Why do? You know what it
Thanks
is?
for
It's because
everyone.
in my head when I'm seeing the picture, for some reason there's a T. I don't know where it
Alright.
is. So that's what I'm saying. Is it sorry for your loss? I'm sure there's a T
It is
somewhere.
sorry for your loss.
I thought, but it's fucking me up now because now every time I see that T, I'm thinking, thank you. No, but it's not. Why would anyone say thank you for your loss?
Thank you for your
That's
loss.
horrible.
How decent of you.
We are now open. The lines are open on the Skype. Anybody wants to
I hope
phone
it's
in,
quite nice.
you are more than welcome to interrupt us and join in the conversation. Even if you don't have a question. I keep looking down there again. What the fuck is going on? The
Even if
camera's up
you're
there.
Ryan Green.
Even if they're Ryan
Ryan
Green, who's phoned in and
For all you Ryan Greens out there,
can't fault him. He's kept a steady.
God loves a trier. He has.
Yeah, he's done well. We do have someone else added on the Skype. They might give us a call, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel pressured.
Is there a
into
new
doing it.
person, Sam?
There is a new
Have we got a
person.
new fan?
Yeah, we've got a few people here.
Do you know them?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh wow, that would be interesting.
But no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to
Uh-huh.
call any names. I don't want to call you out. You want to phone in? It's entirely fucking up to you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Enter-
What's the Skype chairman? Is it chairman of the board?
Yeah, it's just chairman of the board. All one word, lowercase. The chairman OT board is our Twitter name.
I was trying to think what that was today because I knew one of them was different.
Oh, we should get a fucking eBay account thing where we like sell cups and stupid shit because we've got a few people wanting T-shirts now after your
Aye, I know.
your thing like last.
I don't know what to do about that.
And then we can give it and join us on eBay or
I think
Amazon or
if
whatever.
you want a T-shirt, send us a message. If they've obviously listened this far into the podcast, then they're obviously must listen to it kind of early. If you genuinely do want a T-shirt, send us a message, and then we can, depending on numbers, we can try and sort something out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to work out too expensive, we might not do it.
Uh-huh. But even if we
But
do it,
if-
even if we just broke even, do you know what I mean? Like we don't really, we're not in. I'm not.
Oh,
like,
no,
in
no,
this to
yeah,
make a
yeah.
profit at all.
If-
Just so.
I'll tell you what, we'll tell you how much it costs if we can't buy it if it's just too much for us. Because I would rather do that. I just like people want a T-shirt, I'll fucking buy you a T-shirt.
Aye.
Like, but if it works out that it's going to be a lot of money, then we might get you just to pay for it. But we
Aye.
won't take any profit. Or anything
No,
like that.
no. Unless we get like 100 million people.
Yeah, then I don't know.
Well, 99 because Colin Aitken won't fucking.
Oh yeah, fucking said that again, Paul.
I second named him that time as well, Sam.
Oh, we almost could have fucking. That could be
Oh,
two
I know.
different people.
And he knows I love him. Oh, for fuck's sake, it could have been I'm
Yeah.
forever putting my foot in it. I got a wee bit of stick last week for him shouting out Fraser's the Bakery because I could get done for slander or something. Like that.
No, fuck that.
But they were shite.
That's a place. That's a business, though, isn't it?
Aye, so
No,
you'd
fuck
like to.
them. You can see.
I've
no.
even heard from other people that they're god
Look,
awful.
Look, let me tell you something, right? I've got
You're
a friend.
fucking talking right, yop.
Let me tell you something, right? I've got a fucking friend that I've got great fucking stories
How
about.
do you always manage to fucking say my friend and I'm like Colin Aitken, fucking this person, I'm full naming everybody.
Well, because I'll tell you, right? This is what it's about. So there's this friend, or he's not really my friend anymore. We had a
He's a
bit
guy.
of a fallout.
Ryan Green just sent me a message. I want 2 t-shirts.
Oh, hold on, one sec. We'll
Wait
get
a
to
minute,
them.
Ryan.
We'll get to them in a second.
We're telling a story.
Because they've got a point here to make,
All right.
and I'm gonna forget it. No.
Again.
So like, oh, you're doing it to me. You're making me forget things.
No.
Ugh.
You've got a friend, and
I've
we're
got a
talking
friend
about why
who-
we don't want to something.
Yeah, well, I've got a friend who, like, I don't want to mention his name, and I don't want to mention his name next to. Now the thing is, if I didn't give a fuck about him, and didn't care that
No,
anyone.
don't say that, Sam, because that means that looks like I don't care about Colin Aitken.
No.
When I
but-
love Colin.
No,
He
no,
knows
no.
I love him.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm making a conscious effort just in case.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, it's maybe not something that you like would think about, like, oh, people might message him and be nasty to him and all that
Aye,
stuff.
people won't.
Now, the thing is, he might be the type of guy, like, he probably wouldn't care. Now, the thing is, that's what I was going to say as well. My friend, who I'll avoid sort of talking about, he probably wouldn't. He'd probably fucking love the attention, actually. But I don't know. So I'm very wary of that because I don't want to be bad to anyone.
Uh-huh.
But if someone fucks me off, I don't give a shit. I'll say their name.
Right, can I just go out on a limb? Not on a limb. Can I just... Right, sorry, Sam.
But what I want to say, though, is the Fraser's Bakery thing,
Aye.
you can say what their
Aye, I
fucking
know I
names
can,
if
I
you
know I
want.
can.
Like, you know, if
That's a business. That's different.
if you're annoyed with them, or
I'm
whatever,
stopping countless people from getting diarrhea.
like I'm saying, I'll try and be the good guy 9 times out of
Uh-huh.
10. And if someone annoys me,
If someone brings you
or-
a fucking bottle of Yop...
or like, well, there's like the fucking no, like if someone, but you see, I didn't mention their name, like,
Yes,
you
I
know.
know.
But look, if someone does something to me, chances are I'm not going to mention them and hope that people go and fucking harass them.
Ah, no.
But if I was genuinely annoyed with someone, I'm not going to hold back
No.
saying their name just in case, because there's no legal fucking I mean, there
No,
might
not
be.
at all, not
there
at all.
There might be. I don't know, but I don't care. Like,
No, there's not. It's a
fucking-
free platform,
the
Sam.
only
We can say what we
reason
want.
the only reason I'm restricting talking about people's names is just because I don't want them, even if I don't like them, I don't want them getting any sort of harassment from anyone.
Don't harass Colin.
Yeah.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Send them flowers, or if you're going to do anything.
I've told that story a couple of times in front of him and he doesn't mind it.
Yeah.
Just wait till next week, Colin. I've told the other story about the fucking pot noodles.
No, I don't know, man. I think that there is too much, like, and this is, I keep criticising myself because I'm too self-aware of everything that's going on, and I'd much rather I wasn't. Like I was saying it a few weeks ago, I think I've cut down on it, but I used to always say, like, supposedly, allegedly, and
Aye.
I think I've cut down on that, but I'm very...
Now you just say thanks all the time.
instead of sorry, but, like, I don't know, like, there's a
Sam,
flaw.
I think my camera's dropped. Sorry.
There's a flaw in...
That's cool.
No, you're fine. No, there's a flaw in being too self-conscious, though.
Aye.
And it's weird because I was relating to it. Just today I was watching a Richard Dawkins video, and I think he was on Bill Maher. You know who Richard Dawkins is?
I know the name.
See, the thing is, people think that Richard Dawkins is, like, you know, a lot of Christians and a lot of people that oppose him will say he's you know, he knows what he's talking about, but he's really harsh. Does he have to be so harsh? Does he have to be so nasty? Now,
Right.
if you actually listen to him, he's the fucking nicest guy ever. He's not nasty, but what it is he doesn't sort of stutter really. He doesn't sort of hesitate. He'll usually say with a firm sort of,
It's quite blunt.
like, yeah, and it's kind of a little bit of, not, I mean, authoritative, but it's a little bit kind of, he knows what he's talking about. So why is he gonna like I'll do it just now? Well, you know, why is he gonna do that? He knows what he's talking about, so he's gonna just talk about that.
Yeah.
And people aren't comfortable with that, and so I sort of don't tend to act like that because I'm aware of how uncomfortable it feels whenever you seem so sure of something.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm sure of something, like even that fucking sugar thing, like I'm looking at it, I'm going like, it looks legit, right?
Yeah.
But I can't fucking justify that without looking like fucking Alex Jones, where, you know, just anything that's on the internet, oh, well, that must be true because it's on the internet and all. It's an annoying thing that people say, but that's the perception that goes on. And, like, that's kind of, like, a little pride myself on being really, like, strict with the information that I get. And strict with how I sort of interpret it, like whether or not I choose to accept it. Like I pride myself on having a high sort of bar on what I find to be acceptable, credible evidence or information, and all that stuff. So I'm kind of like hesitant to really sort of commit to anything.
Yeah.
And I know I shouldn't be like that. I know I should be more like, no, fuck you, this is what happened.
Yeah.
You know? But so that's what I was thinking. I was watching that today, and Richard Dawkins gets criticised for it, and because it comes across, if you are authoritative, if you do know what you're talking about, people just think, wow, the fucking arrogance on this guy.
Aye.
And like, okay, yeah, he knows what he's talking about, but why does he have to be so mean about it?
I know
You know,
what you mean.
and it's got nothing to do with being mean. It's just people aren't used to it. People aren't used to hearing it, really.
Aye.
Especially in this culture. And it goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago about the raising of the voice. Whenever you ask a question, the high pitched thing, that's another thing that we get from being like sort of insecure and not really confident in what we're saying. And sort of if we turn out to be wrong, it's all right, because I sort of posed it as a question and I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, what do you think is the best way to be? Do you think you should just
I don't know.
kind of be like that and try not to come across as being too sure of yourself?
I always just, I'm trying to think about it in other terms almost. I respect people that are straight to the point, because it's easy to understand them. You know what you're getting with them and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas people are unsure, that like they don't want to tell you, like sometimes like if I'm dealing with somebody that I feel like is unsure of what they're doing or something like that, and I feel like I need to correct them, I'm going to come across like a right dick, but then like I'll do it once or twice and I'm like, no, it's alright, like I'll explain myself, like, listen, I don't want to fucking, like, don't think I'm like giving you a row or whatever, but you shouldn't be do it this way or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I think you need to be like that sometimes. Like, you need to be assertive with things.
It's definitely important.
That was not an assertive explanation.
No, but
it?
you know what I mean. Like I get you. Like it's a thing you do. There is a merit in telling people when, like, calling people on their bullshit.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
You definitely need to.
But it's difficult.
I don't know. I just think you need to be sure. I think you need to have a voice. You don't. But see, I wouldn't really see you as somebody that's... I would always see you as somebody that's quite confident in what you're talking about. But I mean, I suppose, like, a lot of times when I speak to you, you're not being recorded, and... Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like fucking, like, just sitting about bullshit, and then you'll say something. Well,
when we talk as well, it's also like... I kind of know that if you have any questions... If I say anything that sounds outlandish, and you say to me, well, what about, how does that work? I know that I can then show you, and I can go, oh, okay, you've got a question, I can then explain it there and then, or show you the thing that I'm talking about. But having the podcast is a weird thing, because if people have a question, they can't, I mean, they could phone in, but a lot of people aren't going to go to the effort of downloading Skype just to say, oh, well, what do you mean by that? But if people are watching this and they've got something that they disagree with, I'm not in a position to then justify myself, because I don't know that they've disagreed until...
I know what you mean,
You know, so I'm scattering to cover all bases whenever we're talking about something.
I don't know, I think just say what you think, and if somebody has, like, that much of an issue with it, then surely somebody will message you in, or something like that. I'd hope so, but I'd hate to put people off. I would like to hear, about, like that week we're talking about, what was that lad's name? The guy that got killed. But the two Islam guys. Remember the army guy?
See, because I've got John Teeter. I thought you were going to say John Teeter. So I've got him in my head now. So now I need to get him out of my head.
But, like, do you remember when that, like, there were some, like, people talked to us about that again? And then you kind of went next week and were like, just to go back to it. Like, that was really good. Like, it's always good to get feedback on things.
No, but that was lucky, because we got some feedback about it. But how many people are watching, and I'll talk about Muslims or... cannabis curing cancer, and people will just go, I'm turning this off next. Like, do you know what? And it's a weird thing, like, because people are instantly. I've not heard one legitimate argument against the cannabis curing cancer thing. No, not heard one fucking thing against it. Right, legitimate thing against it.
Yeah,
and it's funny because it was during that week where there was all like. You know, they raised like £8 million or whatever for fucking breast cancer research and all that stuff. And then there was the Guy campaign, and there was like Facebook was just filled with people talking about this fucking cancer stuff. And I put up on Facebook, I was like, there you go, guys, found the cure. Go watch this video.
Mm-hmm.
And no one commented on it. No one liked it. No one acknowledged it. It's just instantly seen as shut the fuck up. This guy fucking posting this.
He's not even getting his will out and putting it in a sock for us.
Yeah.
The monkey won't dance for us.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm like, that's like, okay, now there might be flaws with the cancer thing, cannabis curing cancer, and I might not be able to convince you of anything, but let's say there was a substance that cured cancer, legitimately. Let's say you're fucking John Tier.
Sam, you're quite loud.
Let's say you... I don't know. Let's say you're fucking John Tier. And you're from the future, where they have this cure for cancer, and you come back here, and you've got the cure for cancer. How fucking hard would that be to get it accepted?
I know. Unless those guys money.
Fucking Facebook post won't do it.
No
one would give a shit, despite everyone pretending that cancer's on the front of their mind, and that, you know what I mean, pretending that, oh yeah, I take it as a serious issue. Yeah, well, you take it when it's a serious issue, when it comes up and there's a chance to, you know, do something to it picture wise.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there fucking...
something you can show yourself as looking like you're doing something.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there on a random fucking Tuesday looking up like cancer stuff. Like, you know what I mean? You post something and no one gives a shit. No one cares because it's not part of the established, campaign that's going on. That's all right. We can talk about whether or not people should be wearing makeup. We can talk about that. You can't talk about this guy thinks he's got a cure for cancer.
Aye.
Now,
you never hear that, but like, you see, if you look into it, like, there's a lot of things that you hear about.
I've looked into it as well. Like, there's a Gerson cure for cancer, which I'm skeptical about, and this is my point as well. I'm not just fucking believing the stuff online. I'm very skeptical of the Gerson cure for cancer, which is the thing all about raw foods and all that stuff. Very skeptical of it. Don't accept it yet, right? The cannabis thing.
Pardon.
The cannabis thing. Fucking blown away by it, by all the stuff. You really look into it and really look at all the different stuff on it, and I started watching it again because I was doubting myself, and I was like, it sounds so stupid.
I was looking at it as well, Sam. See that one you're talking about a lassie and you thought she had cerebral palsy or something, or you weren't sure which had, but I said cerebral palsy.
There's two girls. One of them I think might have cerebral palsy or something. In a similar way, there's another girl you might be talking about with the Michael J. Fox thing about Parkinson's.
No, see, the one that I was watching was about kids, and they were giving it to kids. Like, they weren't. Is
that the Vice one?
Aye, it's a Vice one. They weren't letting them smoke joint, but this kid had she was going through chemotherapy and she'd lost her hair and she was having all this. She had leukemia, and like, they gave her it, and like, they kind of like done whatever to the cannabis and got like cannabis oil and stuff like that, and they gave her that, and like had oils that they'd rub on her skin, or they'd had it in pills, and she could like take a capsule of it, and then it had cannabis oil in it, and she was just like nobody could believe, like, she was just acting like a normal like 8-year-old lassie. Like, they couldn't believe it. Because like what it does to you, like, it's obviously a very draining thing for your body to go through, like leukemia and having chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff. But they were just like, and the dad was saying about, you were saying about all these cannabinoids and all that kind of stuff that block off the nerve receptors and all that kind of. He was saying that, and like, there's people that, like, I don't know how she comes across as so normal. Like, you wouldn't think there's anything wrong with her because she's just like any other 8-year-old kid. She's like full of energy and all that kind of stuff. But people were debating, like, she's a kid, you can't give her cannabis. But well, I mean, like, she's not sitting.
You know what the counter argument to that is?
What?
Cancer doesn't give a shit what age you are.
That's true.
And because that is a very true. That was the argument I heard. Oh, but you can't give cannabis.
I think
to kids.
The way that they got around this was they were in a state. I think it was in Oregon or somewhere like that. And they could use medical marijuana in this state, and the dad had like some kind of grower's license where he was allowed to have up to 6 plants, and he had a card that said he could dispense or something like that. Yeah. Or he could give it.
Yeah, you get dispensaries, you get licenses for dispensaries. The problem is, though, that they're all state licensed. So the feds can come in and shut you down.
The doctors in her state weren't happy about it, but they went elsewhere, and the doctors were like, well, if it works, kind of thing. But I don't think it was part of her treatment, like she wasn't prescribed it.
Oh no, you wouldn't be. Because it wouldn't be. it's not mainstream yet, anywhere
Mhm.
near it, I don't think.
Mhm.
But there's so many people that are coming out, and the thing is, I'm skeptical of testimonies, personal testimonies. But this is accompanied with fucking X-ray scans, and people do videos where it's like, you know, they take the before and afters, and it's like they'll do videos over long periods of time, and they show the tumors just fucking disappearing,
That's
and they're
crazy.
saying this is because of fucking hemp oil.
I'm sure I know somebody, and I don't know if they're a listener, but I'm not going to like obviously name names and that. But I'm sure they had a grandparent, and the grandparent in this country, I'm sure there was something to do with like the grandparent had some kind of medical marijuana or something like that, or I don't know if it was like some kind of cannabis and like in some other form, or
Right.
hemp or something like that. I'm not sure what it was, and I don't know what it was for. But it'd be quite interesting to hear it and
Well,
hear
they
how.
had some sort of license or something.
I'm not
That's the
sure what it
reason.
was. It was a while ago, but I'm sure the grandparent had I'm sure it was something to do with cannabis. I don't think obviously it was cannabis in the traditional way, but I don't know if it was in some pills or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it being in this country in terms of.
If whoever it is listening and it rings a bell, send us a message,
Yeah,
because it would be quite interesting. Obviously, we're not going to name names and stuff like that.
but I tell you, this is it's the weird thing is, and it's hard because what I'm saying is, I'm trying to talk about things that then I think, but if people don't really know the backstory or they don't
Mhm.
really know what I'm talking about, I'll just sound like fucking Alex Jones here talking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean, the people we don't really know too much about the development of human beings, and I mean we know a lot obviously, but what I'm saying is there's a few different theories as to why there was this sort of spark in human evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, it's a bit annoying, this is one of the things that my stepdad is reluctant to believe evolution just happened without intervention, without God, right?
Or I think you're going to
Because-
say aliens.
Because if you look at the development, apparently going from hominoidea to the you know to the going from what we were to the type of what's the word, the type of human that we are, that there's an
Modern man.
atomical, you know,
Right?
human that we are now, modern man. Our brains got massive.
Mhm.
Like our heads got a lot bigger, and our brains grew, and it's all this like creativity and all that stuff, right? So there's this big spark. I don't see any reason why it requires the intervention of a god. You know,
Mhm.
anything could have fucking happened, right? But one of the theories is, and it's called the stoned ape theory.
I've heard of it.
And it's a guy-
I've not heard about
yeah.
it, but I've heard
Well,
of
it's
it.
a guy called Terence McKenna wrote a book about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes that, and apparently there's loads of science. I've not been able to get my hands on the book. Apparently there's loads of science about it, saying, you know, with the area where we're in and all that stuff, we could have started inducing mushrooms, magic
Yes,
mushrooms,
I've heard
and
that.
as a huge part of our diet. And then
Mhm.
because of the psychedelic,
That Graham Hancock
properties-
talks about that, eh?
I think so, yeah, Graham Hancock, he's quite big into Terence McKenna
Mhm.
stuff as well. Obviously Joe Rogan talks about it. If anyone watches Joe Rogan, they'll have heard all this stuff before as well.
Mhm.
but-
That's what I heard it of.
But no, that's like, that easily could have happened. You know,
Mhm.
that's not easily refuted either. And the thing is, if we've evolved alongside certain plants, like, and this is what they say about marijuana or cannabis, the THC compound, it's so set up perfectly to coincide with chemicals inside us,
Mm-hmm.
that it could have easily, we could have, you know, adapted in some way to fit it, you know.
Yeah.
So this could be a necessary part of our development that we are now only over the last, you know, few hundred years or whatever it is, probably not even as long
We've
as
kind of
that,
outlawed it.
we've decided, no, we're not having this anymore. Same with mushrooms as well. I've never taken mushrooms. I don't know what it's like, but I mean, there's fascinating documentaries on mushrooms,
Mhm.
and I'm not even talking about the experience of taking them. I'm talking about the history and the development of Christmas and all that stuff, all to do with mushrooms.
Aye.
I don't know if you've heard anything.
No,
this
no.
stuff. I could try and fucking recant it for you.
Recant it. Right.
Seeing as we haven't had a call yet. It's 23 minutes past. You need to get on the phone, guys. We're losing steam. Um, no, the mushroom thing is quite interesting. Now, the one that's always brought up is psilocybin mushrooms. But I think that's the magic mushrooms, the little black one. You get this other type of mushroom that I'm going to call the Mario mushroom because I can't remember the proper name for it. But it's the mushroom that's in Super Mario. You know, the
one that makes them grow.
Yeah, it's red with white dots.
Mm-hmm. So
I was watching. No, this isn't science. It's speculation and all that stuff, but it's interesting. So apparently, where these mushrooms grow, they grow best underneath the tree. I don't know the names of trees either, but you know the tree that we use for the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That type of tree is where these mushrooms grow best.
Right.
And they grow under it because they grow from the roots of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually appear underneath the Christmas tree like little presents, right?
Oh.
And so that's the first bit. Oh, that's interesting. Well, then there's all this fucking story about the people that used to take these mushrooms. Before you get into the Christmas side of it, there's a relation to like a religious sort of side to it as well, where of course these things get you high, the most high and all that stuff. This is what they are. When the mushrooms grow, they sort of grow out in a phallic shape, right? And
like
then,
the shape of a willy.
Yeah, the shape of a willy. And then before they actually burst and then start to form the thing,
semen.
Before the thing, it actually breaks this kind of rod on it, right? And it's.
I feel like I need to see a picture of this.
Well, it's kind of the way it grows is basically, if you imagine
a willy,
that then once it's circumcised,
yes,
then it's able to come out more, expand more, be more of a mushroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently this is where circumcision comes from. It's because it's the same. It's replicated in nature, and anytime something's replicated in nature that's kind of curious in human behavior,
mm-hmm.
you have to think there's some sort of correlation, because all the stuff that we do as humans all comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you can find that something in nature, there's a good chance that that's where it came from. And so this mushroom goes through a process of becoming like this penis, and then once it breaks, once the mushroom becomes essentially circumcised, then it flourishes into this proper mushroom, right? So the weird thing is though about the mushroom, it continues to grow and all that stuff, and it actually starts off like this shape,
mm-hmm.
right? And as it grows, it sort of expands out the way.
Right.
And there's actually another theory as well about this being where the idea of the phoenix comes from. Because, the phoenix is this flaming bird that will die and then be reborn again. Because once the mushroom dies, it regrows in the exact same spot. It basically respawns itself.
Oh, right.
If it's untouched. It will grow, die, and then respawn itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's respawning, after it goes through circumcision, the way it bridges up, they say it's kind of like a bird. If you imagine watching a time-lapse video of it, it'd be like a bird spreading its wings kind of thing. So that's where they think, there might be a correlation with the phoenix there. But the weird thing is, though, what happens is, now all the psychedelic stuff, a lot of it anyway, is on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to do with the red whatever substance that's on top of the mushroom. Mm-hmm. So they're saying when it curves out and it gets to this point, the mushroom becomes like goblet. Right? And
are you fucking telling us about Harry Potter, Sam?
No.
Because you've got a goblet. Was that not one of them? There was a goblet, the goblet of fire. You've got phoenix. A phoenix.
Well, yeah, maybe there's something to do with Harry Potter and mushrooms as well. I don't know, but the see, because I said goblet now, that's fucking me up to what the thing's actually called.
Mm-hmm. You just got a goblet, Sam.
No, but the thing, it's not the goblet, it's the what the fuck's it called?
Give us a clue.
I'll explain what it is first. Anyway, it's so it comes up in this cup shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the water, then when it rains, comes into it and fills it. So these mushrooms become like little cups. Right. And because the red substance that's on top of it then gets infused with the rainwater, it turns this drink. It becomes like a cup with a little drinking water in it that then is psychedelic.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes, and it's a religious thing. It's the fucking Jesus thing.
Aye, the body and the blood of Christ. And
Well, there's that, yeah, drinking the blood of Christ. But what's the thing called as well? Not like there's the few different things. There's like the Ark of the Covenant.
oh,
and
the one that you're thinking about in Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
the
what's
cup.
it called? It's because I said goblet. I've completely fucking messed up my mind as to what it's
Game
called.
on Oh my god.
Oh
There was a Raiders. That was the Raiders of the Lost Ark. No.
no, you know what I mean
Temple
though.
of
Anyway,
It was a cup that they drank from at the
Yeah.
Last Supper. If you drink from it, you get everlasting life.
yeah. And that's where the
Oh, that's going to fucking
but
annoy me,
that's
Sam.
what you just said there. Everlasting life.
Mm-hmm.
This is again the Phoenix thing of the dying and the rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's everlasting, whatever. It's not chalice. It's not. It's so stupid that I can't fucking remember what this thing's
It's
called.
fucking really annoying me.
It's
as well,
gonna be
Sam. I need
so
to look
obvious.
up.
Oh, how embarrassing!
Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
I never even fucking looked up. I just thought the Monty Python
Aye,
thing. I
the
knew they
Holy
weren't
Grail,
looking for it.
yeah.
In that.
So that's what they thought it was. See, I said fucking goblet, and it completely.
I
was
heard a fucking mad story today about apparently where they think the Ark of the Covenant is.
Oh, there's Pakistan, I think.
Well, in Ethiopia, that's where they heard
Ethiopia.
One. But
Yeah,
I
sorry.
heard this other fucking story, right? It was like that. I told myself after the story, go and fucking read about that, but I never. Right? So they were talking about this island off somewhere in Canada, right? Some fucking area of Canada. There's like islands somewhere, right? And one of these islands was called Oak Island, I think, right? And
Okay.
okay. And on this island, apparently they used pirates buried treasure on this island, and this was like a big thing. Like everybody's like, "Where the fuck is this treasure?" Right? So they were going looking for this treasure, and then in like the 1800s or something like that, maybe like the late 1700s, these two kids are on the island, and now I don't know how big this island is, but they find this area, right? And this area is a 10-foot circle, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's an area of ground that's like sunk into the ground, like it's indented into the ground.
Right.
And these kids are like, why the fuck is this like thing made? So they start digging, right? And then they go down about 10 feet and they found a lady stone, right? And they're like, this
Wait a
is...
minute, kids dig 10 feet.
I'm sure it was kids, and like someday, right? They found this fucking area on this this island where there's supposed to be treasure, and the fucking... What the fuck was it? It was an area, it doesn't matter, in Canada somewhere, off some island. And so they found this area that was like a 10-foot circle, and there was like a bit of grass that was like just indented. So like, this, what the fuck is this? Something under here. So they dig like 10 feet, and they found like stone, right? And they're like, why is there just fucking stone here? Right? They get rid of the stone, go under it. Then there's wood, right? And they're like, this is fucked up. Like somebody must have, like this is quite deep. Do you know what I mean? When on here, there's wood. Fucking dig down more, right? And then they got down to like 30 feet. And there was just like layers of different stuff. And then they go back and they got like, I'm sure it came back, but they went like back like so many years later with like funding from people. I don't know if they grew up or like whatever it was. They might not have been 10.
What did they find, Paul? I'm
Right?
so excited.
They fucking keep digging down, right? And they go through and they keep finding all these layers. Like they find like fucking like coconut husk, right? Like skin off coconuts, right? Fucking all this mad stuff like chalk, like fucking animal hair and stuff like that. Just layers and layers of stuff, right? And they're like, what the fuck is this? This hole keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, right? At 90 feet, they find a tablet, right? And then they fucking go and they somehow now they've got like funding and all that kind of stuff.
How long ago was this?
This is like hundreds of years ago, right?
Right.
This tablet has disappeared now, right? And they read this tablet, and the tablet's like 30 feet below where you are now. Is like there's something to the worth of like 2 million, right? And this is back in them days, and they're like, what the fuck, right? So they go back, right? And they fucking keep digging, and they dig a little bit more, and then they start like they find like gold chain links or something like that, and they find like pieces of parchment, and then they go more and more, and then like for a while then it's just dirt, right? But then they keep like finding other layers of like stone and wood and stuff like that, and then they get to a bit, and then there's like this solid like wooden box, and like they're like, right, it's fucking late at night, like, and I think like this had been plagued by like there was a lot of fucking things that had upset this and got in the way of things happening. So like, right, well, it's late now, we're fucking like, they were honestly like, must have been like 100 feet down in the ground, like I don't know how wide this hole got or whatever, but they're like, we'll go back the next day, right? So they fucking came out the hole and went back the next day, and the fucking thing flooded, right? So then they're like, oh my god, it fucking is flooded, right? So they eventually get all the water out of it and start digging again, and then it collapsed in on itself, and they fucking never got to the bottom of it. And you can still go now and like you can get like a permit, and
Why didn't they just
they
dig it up
never
then?
ever got to the bottom of it because the hole fell in on itself.
So what, they can't do anything with that?
But then they fucking started finding these stones, right, on the island, and these stones like
What's the name of this story?
I'll need it was on a podcast I was listening to. I'll go
Right.
back and listen to it, right, and find it. I'm sure it's like Oak Island, or it's a name
Oh
of
yeah,
tree,
you said that.
because there's another island that's called Birch Island near it, right?
Mhm.
So they were looking and they started finding these like big heavy stones, right? And these stones, like when they they line up with each other, and over the area of like 300 square feet, like they mark out like the sign of the Knights Templar, which apparently hid the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And that's on this, and that's the only reference to the Knights Templar in this whole fucking story. But that's on this fucking island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Is that not fucked up?
That'd be awesome if it was like totally verified and like.
It's a crazy story. I was
Yeah.
like, I was listening to it today and I was like, I need to fucking look this up. But then just when you say that, I was like, I need to fucking say it. So I'm going to read it up on it.
Yeah.
But like, apparently, like you can go to this island and like it's a big like a famous thing there, like the treasure of whatever it is, Oak Island, and
See, I think that's way more interesting than like if you had your choice to read something that you know is fiction, right?
Uh-huh.
Like Harry Potter. Okay,
mhm,
people read this stuff for entertainment, but you know it's fiction.
mhm,
Now, the Knights Templar, the Masonic lodges,
mhm.
the Illuminati, all that stuff. How do you know what's fact and what's fiction?
I know, it's crazy.
But it's still more interesting, you know, because it's got the possibility of this could have happened,
Mhm.
rather than just reading Harry Potter or something
That's
something that
crazy.
you know is just. I don't know. I don't like fiction anymore. I can't read fiction.
I just think that's
I
interesting.
can
that
barely
kind of stuff.
fucking watch fiction.
Mhm.
Like if I'm watching stuff and I go through periods, like just now I say I'm watching Lost, so I'll go through a period of where I'll, you know, indulge in it and all that.
Aye,
But I find it hard to watch anything that isn't like.
it needs to be good. It needs to have a good thing and drag you in that.
Yeah, I mean,
I really do enjoy Lost and stuff.
I suppose if it is fiction, it has to be, or it doesn't have to be, but at least should be something like Star Trek, where it's fiction, but it's proposing a world yet to come. So
Aye.
it could.
Aye.
There's the sort of psychological like possibility of
Mhm.
this could end up being what the world looks like. This could end up being what humans do, but
Mhm.
Harry Potter will never be what humans do.
No.
You know.
And I think in Lost they start off in a world where it is your world, and that's how it's easy to kind of get into it, and then weird stuff starts happening. You're like, well, what's fucking going on there? Why is there like
Well, that's why it ruined it for me. That's why it ruined it for me. Like my first time trying to watch it.
Mhm. But then it kind of it like we Lost. I think it eases you into it, and then like I think to a certain extent it takes like a leap of faith, if you know what I mean. But I mean, like I'm watching The Walking Dead just now, and that's like zombies and that. But like they kind of do explain it, and you're like, right, well, I'll let myself believe it. And I find that really
you
good.
can absolutely let yourself into the world.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying is though, is like, because I mean, I would like as well if I was forced to sit down and watch The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
all that stuff, chances are I'd love it.
Uh-huh.
But if I've got the option, more often than not now, if here's Game of Thrones or fucking Cosmos
Uh-huh. Aye.
aired.
I've downloaded it. I've
long
not
ago.
yet watched it yet, Sam.
Oh, I don't know if you should say that you downloaded it.
I downloaded it from a verified site, obviously, and then watched it on the. Oh no, I didn't. I watched it on Netflix.
Oh, you downloaded it by streaming it. I get you.
Yes,
I understand
yes,
what
yes,
you
yes,
mean.
yes.
But no, Matt, if that's my option, I'm fucking going with Cosmos. I'm going with documentaries and Vice and podcasts
Mhm.
and Christopher Hitchens lectures or not lectures, debates. You know, Alfie Cohen lectures. You know, lectures, debates,
I just found that
podcasts. This is way more fun than fucking sitting watching some bullshit. But you know what I mean?
Aye.
It's that sort of entertainment. That's what I go for now as well.
Aye.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, is there something wasteful that we're doing when there's so much information out there, and
Aye.
the real world is so much more exciting.
It
You know,
definitely is. Even stuff that's happened. I mean, like, I was never one for history, but the other day your brother was over, and he was telling me about Mary Queen of Scots and that, and I was genuinely interested. Like, I'd fucking obviously been taught it at school, but never
Yeah.
held on to it.
Well, see, but it's because it's real, it's far more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, then I don't know. I mean, with fiction, you can do other things as well. Like you can, like Star Trek. Star Trek's fiction,
Yes.
but it can. With fiction, you don't have to be true to original story. You can manipulate the story in a way to get the viewer to think a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So fiction's good for that. But so when it comes to fiction, though, I don't see why. Well, I don't see the relevance in things like Harry Potter, where there's just magic.
Right.
What's the relevance of that? What
It's
can
not
you,
relevant.
What
it's
can
just a
you
good
learn
story,
from
though.
that? You know.
Aye, I know you can.
You know, and so I mean, if you,
Apart from maybe like values and stuff like that.
but all those values you would easily just attach to another
Yeah.
story that's not based in, you know, and maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's healthy to have to stimulate imagination in that way. Maybe it's healthy, but and maybe
I
it's
think
useful.
imagination's a good thing to have.
Well, yeah, I definitely, but and maybe that's a thing where if you're a kid, then that's a good time to be instilling here's fiction. I don't know. Maybe it's more harmful when they're a kid and they sort of blurs the lines between what's possible and what's not. But I don't know, as an adult, especially now with like, you know, I was never interested in documentaries and all that stuff growing up. It was all
Aye.
it was all fiction, it was all silliness. Even shows like Friends, right?
So silliness.
Well, this is a thing though, silliness. Friends is based in reality,
Mm-hmm.
yet how much more fucking fictional can you get? Like, you know, that's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad though because, and I like Friends, but it's bad because it tricks you as a kid when you're watching that, and you're sort of, it prepares you for adulthood.
You're like, that's grown-ups.
And yeah, you think, oh, this is what grown-ups act like.
It's fucking easy.
And I can't wait to be an adult and fucking have these types of friends, and life is fucking.
And I'm going to love coffee.
Yeah.
And then the first time I tried coffee, I fucking hated it.
Yeah, I like coffee.
I like coffee now. I hated it the first time I tried it.
And you know what I mean? I've met people at
Yeah.
parties and things like that. And I'm not going to name drop, but probably because I don't know their name. But like I've seen, like there was this,
It's a good excuse as any, Sam.
there was this girl one time. We were at a party,
Yeah.
and this girl, and you know, she was nice enough, but she was totally doing this routine, this Chandler routine or this Friends routine, where she was talking in a way that she was in an episode of Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of looking around, and like no one else is really picking up on it. And I'm like, this is the most surreal fucking thing ever. Like people talking like that.
Ryan Green. Is it?
We do. We have Ryan Green. How's it going, Ryan?
Hello.
We also have someone else who's going to want to call in. So if they call in, I might end up hanging up on you, Ryan. But until that happens, how are you?
I'm good.
And the only reason I would hang up on you is because, obviously, you're a reliable caller. Like,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and I
Yes.
know that you'll be back. But yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
It's been a week since we last heard from you.
Yeah, vocally.
I don't know what. Oh, you mean on Facebook?
Aye.
That's right. Yeah, we do still keep on up on Facebook. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, vocally. That's so good.
I'm having a fucking nightmare. I just need to say that I'm having a technical issue. Somebody sent me a message to the Facebook and I can't fucking get into it, so I'll need to have a look into it. I'm not going to sit and trouble myself with it now.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about it. So, yeah, man, how's it going? What do you have for us this week? Today?
No, not really.
Oh, Ryan, you had a killer topic today on the old
I
Facebook
did
going.
this morning with the proposed planning for driving lessons.
I'm going to put you up just a little bit, actually, Ryan. One sec.
Your what?
Yeah, I'm just going to put your volume up a bit. Can you say that again?
This morning I came across a story about what they're wanting to propose for a driving license.
Right.
They want to introduce, like, they're going to call it GDL, which is like a graduate driving license. It means if you're a younger driver, when you pass, you've got like restrictions to what you're allowed to do. So like, if you're on the motorway, instead of doing 70, you might only be allowed to do 50. But like, it will still be signposted 70. It's just like if you're caught above 50, like you're then classed as speeding.
But how do they tell that it's
A young driver.
yeah?
Well, the DVLA's now all getting linked together. Like when you go to buy road tax for a car, you don't even need any documentation now. They just scan your letter, and then it shows them on the system like that your car's MOT'd, that it's insured.
You can just do it even through the internet as well, eh?
Yeah, so like they know that they can just sell you it. So the police cars are going to have this whole integrated system, and when you're a new driver and you pass, the DVLA will probably like mark your license as that you're a new driver. So like if the police scan you with their in-car camera, like it's going to
They
tell
can
them
scan
you're a new
the
driver.
number plate and then get all your information and that.
So they wouldn't have to think, oh, this guy's doing 60 and a 70. Let me just make sure he's not an underage driver. It'll just sort of already know.
No, well, chances are like the signs are saying 70, so they're going to go 70 to blend in with everybody else.
But,
So like if the police car comes along behind it and scans the registration plate and finds that they're a new driver,
So they would have to-
made it they're speeding.
I'm saying they would have to actively choose that registration plate to scan. It wouldn't just automatically scan it and come up and say, this
Well,
car.
you get
No,
like
it's tough
the
to be driving
traffic cops
on.
have got like scanners on them, so they scan a lot of number plates as they're
But what I'm
driving
saying is,
along.
does it automatically scan,
Yeah, it
or
does.
or do they have to push a
Aye.
button? Or
I'm sure for the traffic cops it does. Like, but not all cars on the road are traffic cops. So I think a lot of them get scanned for like checking insurance and stuff like that.
so there is like a way of doing it.
Yeah, the traffic cops, they like sit at the side of the road and they just like sit with the car facing the traffic coming to them.
Yeah.
Or like traffic that's going away from them.
No, I'll tell you what.
It's the registration plate, so then they know.
You
if
also
it's-
get the things that I'm sure I've seen an insurance company here doing it. They were they do this thing where they put a thing in your car,
a tractometer or something.
yeah,
like that.
and it just tracks how well you drive, and it bases your insurance on how good you drive. Like it'll track you if you go over the speed limit and stuff like that.
My wee brother had one on his first car that his car had to be in the driveway between 11 o'clock at night and 11 o'clock in the morning.
See, that's pretty good.
In the morning,
That I suppose that
Yeah.
would stop you.
because he said that his car was getting kept in a driveway overnight, so it had to be parked. Like if he drove it between those times, he increased like his premium.
Really?
So
So
every
you
month.
couldn't go to a friend's house for the night.
No, he was allowed to at the weekends, I think, or maybe it was like during the week or certain days.
Aye.
It's allowed to do it, and then like maybe it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It had to be parked because I know that's when you're probably going to use it most.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, do you think it's a good idea to have that kind of regulation?
Well, I do, because I mean, I'm not saying they're all at fault, but like some of the stats today were like 10% of Great Britain's driving population are aged between 17 and 25, yet 24% of road traffic accidents involve that 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
And
not
like insurance,
quarter of the road.
insurance is always higher when you're younger as well. So it would obviously
Yeah,
help
I mean-
them to a degree and bring their money down.
I
If
guess
they were having
Times
to
when they
drive
have-
within certain parameters.
There's been times where, like you've been going around a roundabout and like you can see their wee kitted up car coming, and like just as you're turning round it, they speed across you just because they think they can beat you.
Aye.
So you could slam on the brakes, or you're going down a country road and it's dark, so they sit behind you with their full beam on.
Aye.
Well, I'll tell you
Okay.
something. The I know what you're saying, and the counter argument I think is, you know, just because a few fannies are doing whatever, why should it ruin it for the rest of us? I agree with you. I mean, if it's a problem, it's a fucking problem, and if people are dying because of it, you know, who gives a fuck what?
Well, I think
you
that's
want
what
kind
it
of
is. I
thing.
don't think they're doing it out of badness. I think they're doing it to protect the younger
Yeah.
drivers, because they know
Yeah.
that like when they get a car, the first thing they want to do is like pick up all their friends, go some mental wee drive.
Yeah.
Aye.
No, the way that I would sort of do it though, if it was up to me, is because I've had this conversation before about like road signs and all that stuff, and I think that the solution, if you want a solution, you have to build it in so that you kind of, people don't really have an option. Like and you can do it nowadays with all this geo stuff. So if you're in a 70-mile zone,
Mhm.
your car won't produce, it won't be able to go over 70 miles.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation, one of my friends disagrees with me. He goes like, no, but that's taking away our freedom. And I'm like, no, but the law is what the law is. The law
Yeah.
says 70 miles, so that's already your freedom
Well, I mean, like,
gone.
lorries have got them in where they're like capped at 50,
Yeah.
and that's like simply because the manufacturers have stated like this is the safest speed for carrying a weight.
Yeah.
So they are deliberately
That's
not allowed
it, because
to break that
there's
speed limit.
yeah,
so
because
that they
there's
don't
yeah, that's right, because
break
there's
the
money
regulation.
involved. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's money involved with that. They don't want that anything going wrong with
Mhm.
that. so they
Exactly.
build it in.
Like, it's all it's for, eh? It's
But
like-
reverse it, and it's like, if it's just a kid driving about, whatever, if they go over the limit, which apparently according to the numbers it's likely to do,
Mhm.
that's, if they get caught, that's money generated in tax. Then
Yeah.
so they're not gonna enforce that kind of, like, because imagine they did that. Imagine all cars were under regulation where you couldn't drive over whatever zone you're in.
Aye,
If
there'd
you're
be no
if
speeding
you're in a
tickets.
playground area, it goes right down to, like,
Mhm.
20 or whatever it is.
Aye.
Now, that means all the money that was being generated from speeding is now gone.
Yeah, that's it. No speeding tickets.
So yeah, there's always reasons why they don't do what could be done. Same we were talking about cannabis. What do you think about that, Ryan? Cannabis curing cancer. Have you ever heard of that? Does it instantly sound preposterous?
No, I mean, like, I've heard it loads of times. Like, people are always talking about it, how, like, they've had like, children who've been ill and they've been in a lot of pain, and I mean, obviously it doesn't, because you give it to a child that's got leukemia doesn't mean that child's going to survive.
No.
But if you can take away the pain, like, it's still serving a purpose, so it's still working towards curing cancer, because cancer's not just like something that eats your body up and kills you. Like, it does it painfully.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they're saying that with tumours, it will actually the cannabis, because of the THC, that actually acts as, and you know what, as well, I say that most people don't acknowledge it. Some places have, and they actually try and make THC in pill form and use it as a treatment for cancer. So some places do acknowledge it. But there's other compounds that the THC mixes with, and when you isolate it like that, pill form is not necessarily the way to go. But no, I mean, it's in terms of having something like the cerebral palsy, the cannabis won't get rid of it, but will help you maintain a normal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. There's that as using medical marijuana as a medicine of helping you kind of get through the day and all that stuff. But what I'm saying though is there's this sort of new phenomena, and I don't know if you've seen any of the videos on the tumor treatments and people rubbing hemp oil, because it's not just smoking cannabis as well. It's using the hemp extracted oil on tumors. And I don't know if you've seen any of these videos, Ryan, if you've heard about this, because this seems to be like...
I have heard about it through, like, you talking about it on the podcast, and I think I've seen wee bits about it, but I've never actually really read anything into it.
Yeah.
Like, in grade.
Well, because I'm kind of stunned that no one's talking about it, because there's so many videos on it, and it's very compelling.
The trouble I've got now is that, like, I know, like, this is talking about the goodness of using it, but then the hard bit just now for them to concentrate on it would be because, like, Colorado's legalised it, and there's all of these shitey stories coming out that, like, people are having heart attacks because they're smoking it, and, like, the A&E numbers have increased by, like, 75%. So I think at the minute the world's still in that kind of, have America made a mistake?
I don't know. Do you think that's just fear mongering though?
Well, that's people that don't.
I mean,
like,
it's propaganda.
That's also another instance of these personal testimonies where people get something wrong. What's it? Hypochondriac, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's sort of a new thing now that they're trying it and all this stuff, it's easy then to relate. Oh, this is happening because of this.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is why you need all the trials. This is why you need more evidence than just personal testimony. And this is why when I see the videos,
thing that made me laugh about the whole, like, Colorado thing is that it was all over Facebook and that, and, like, it was on other websites, and I clicked the link just to read the story, and like, it was a pretty well put together story. Yeah, it was shite, but then on the same website, as you came down and started scrolling, like, the other story titles, one of them was like Justin Bieber, and this was a quote: "I was hospitalised after having first boner."
That sounds like the website was
about, like, it was like meant to have like a call transcript for it. And like, he's phoned them and said, "Oh, there's something wrong with my penis, it's gone hard and it won't go away," and like, they're like, "Oh, you better come in right away." And I was like, well, if that story's sharing the same one as this one of Colorado, it's going to true, eh?
Yeah,
And
well, no,
what's-
dude. There's a website called The Onion,
Aye.
and it's a news website, but it's a complete piss take. And I see so many people posting stories from The Onion who believe it. Who are like, I can't believe this. Like, you know, and you're like, well, of course you can't believe it. It's on the fucking Onion. Do you not know what The Onion is? But I mean,
You think about like them, that 75% as well. How many of them do you reckon were cannabis smokers beforehand?
well, the thing is, it
Or
does,
do you just think it's people that are like, I've never tried it, and like, oh, I can now, it's legal, I'll try it, and then they smoke a lot and they don't know what's happening.
some people
and all this
freak
kind
it.
of
Well,
stuff.
the thing is that the cannabis relation to cancer is nothing even to do with smoking it. It's
No.
to do with the
Aye,
oil and
taking
all
it.
that stuff.
I heard back from our cannabis grandparent.
Oh yeah.
They had MS and it was very effective.
Was it not that when like years ago it was one of the queens or
And
something?
that's in this country, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more tightly governed, obviously,
No, I
in this
mean,
country,
I
but it's
don't-
very.
I don't know what the full scope of its uses, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
been linked to being used for loads of different things. So it doesn't surprise me. It is a medicine, and this is what's weird about it as well, because I used to have this conversation when I first started finding out that cannabis was a medical thing. Like, forget the relationship to cancer, right? But it was just a medical thing that was good for you. I remember telling one of my friends about this, and he's fucking adamant. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, cannabis is not at all good for you. I'm not saying it's going to kill you, right? I'm not saying it's that bad for you. It's probably not as bad for you as, like, you know, alcohol, which we're drinking. But it's probably not as bad for you as that. But how can you say it's good for you? What do you mean it's good for you?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there telling him, "No, it's fucking good for you. It's a medicine."
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'd then make fun of all the rappers, Jay-Z or whoever it is, you know, talking about, yeah, I'm smoking my blunt, yeah, right. I'm like, think about how they're going to be laughed at in the future. It's like, yeah, I'm taking my aspirin. Like, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Oh, Ryan, I've got that other call. I'll call you back if we've got time.
Cool.
Bye,
Come
Ryan.
on.
Thanks for phoning.
Thanks for phoning. Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Hello,
can you hear
caller.
me?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Pretty good, how's it going?
Yep, pretty good. We had a call there from Ryan, and I put the volume up, so I'm going to put it down just slightly because, yeah, that should be better. Because I think your microphone seems to be better than his.
Alright, I think it's kind of loud, is that alright?
That's pretty good. What do you think, Paul? Pretty good.
That
level?
sounds good to me. Sounds
Okay.
Glaswegian, this one.
Paul doesn't know who you are, so you can feel free to
Excuse
introduce
the
yourself.
accent. The accent might be a bit harsh.
It's alright.
I'm sure we'll decipher it. Don't worry. We're in this together.
We'll pull through.
See, I was going to phone in a while ago, but I ended up kind of getting a bit high, and my friend's here, and there's other friends listening, so I was kind of holding back for phoning in, but
That's awesome. Always welcome. Hi, man. So how's it go? You want to introduce yourself? I don't know. You can say where
I'm
you're from.
Wally. How's it going?
That's good enough.
That'll do.
Is that a satisfied introduction, Paul?
That's the basics. Everything's covered.
No,
Willie.
done. Sorted.
So yeah, man, we've not got much time left, but I suppose we'll stay on for a little bit extra.
That's alright. We can have a
We've
treat.
got an extra caller.
new
this
caller?
week. Yeah. So yeah, man. What's up? You have a question? You have anything you want to talk about?
Well, I heard you talking about the Illuminati and stuff, and that's something I kind of wanted to
All
go
right.
on about.
Yeah.
See, when you actually kind of look into what the Illuminati actually is,
Mm-hmm.
it was basically a bunch of scientists telling people about superstition, trying to tell people about truth,
Yeah.
try to
right.
clear out superstitions and things like that, and kind of religion, just try to tell people what was going on. And they were actually like driven completely underground and stuff like that, and now there's this crazy conspiracy thing all about it. It's pretty nonsense.
Yeah.
Think about it. I'd say I'm for the Illuminati. You look back at what they've done, it's like, bring it on, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I recently started watching these. You get these videos on YouTube, and it's like the top 10 whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got a list 25 thing, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the 25s as well. Aye.
One of the ones I was watching was the top 10 conspiracies that turned out to be true.
Alright.
And one of them was the Illuminati, and they went into that. They were saying about it was, you know, initially this order that was for promoting science and
Mhm.
education and knowledge, and how it's just been apparently died off but now it's been sort of revamped as no, they didn't die off. It was all
Uh-huh.
underground and it's to do with the Masons and
The
whatever
man
else.
don't want them to know.
Yeah. So it's weird though. Yeah, we should bring back the Illuminati in support of them. Like,
I never knew that they were scientists and they'll try to spread the word.
I didn't even know that it was like a proper established kind of known order.
It was a thing, the Bavarian Illuminati, like
I've heard of
ages
that.
ago. That's the only thing that anybody I think knows is real or anything like that. I don't think they're here today conspiring
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah, and it'd be, I don't know, I think it'd probably be too hard now to sort of try and restore their reputation, with just
Yeah.
all this stuff. There's so much stuff, Illuminati. I remember, because like I get interested in this stuff, and whenever I get interested in something, I think people tend to think that I'm instantly for it just because I'm talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I remember I was talking about the Illuminati stuff, and I was telling telling one of my friends about it. I was trying to explain to him, like, they're trying to draw these parallels, these connections, and it's all to do with the sun and the sort of the all-seeing eye.
Aye.
And there's a lot of sun iconography, if that's the right word.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, I know what you mean, I've seen it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right. And he sends me a fucking picture of Sun from Lost. And I was like, you fucking asshole.
What happened there, son?
I don't know. I think someone got caught. You still there, Willie?
I'm still here, yeah.
That's good.
Or William? I don't know. What do you prefer? William?
Will.
Cool.
Anything but William, then.
Anything but William.
William if you want, I don't know.
On
I
Sunday.
get it all.
No, there was a noise there, like someone caught. Maybe it was Ryan. Maybe I put Ryan on hold by accident, and he went and got off there.
Oh,
I don't know, but yeah,
He gets
fucking-
enough airtime.
He does too much. Oh, I don't know. It's weird though, like, because I do have friends that properly believe it. I'm sure you do as well. Like,
Yeah.
And I mentioned this before, but I had a friend, like, show me videos of like the supposed shapeshifter and all that stuff.
Aye, I think that's all a bit far fetched. Like,
Yeah.
and the
it's
lizard
kinda,
people
it's
and that.
weird. Like you kind of almost can't argue with them, not because they're right, but just you can't argue with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They don't listen to you. But
Don't listen.
I don't know. Have you? What's the most compelling thing you've ever seen to do with Illuminati?
Me?
Yeah. What's
Um,
if there even is anything?
If there even is
compelling?
anything. Probably nothing, to be honest.
I'm gonna go with nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
When you look into it, like the actual history, it's kind of interesting, but a lot of people, I think it's mainly Alex Jones, people like him,
yeah.
using it. It's kind of used today to kind of take your eye off what's actually going on. It just must be this invisible group that nobody can see. It's just untouchable. You may as well give up.
I mean, do you think
whatever.
Alex Jones is kind of doing it intentionally as like a distraction thing, or do you think he just flat out believes everything he's talking about?
Yeah, I don't actually know, but I would probably bet on that he's been paid to kind of do it or something like that. It would seem like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it seems a bit of an act to me. It's either that or it's just him being so crazy gets him a lot of views, so he just
Yeah.
continues to do it or something.
I've got a few different theories about him. I think one of them is not necessarily that he's being paid by someone, but he's definitely making money out of it. And the way he's doing it is he's invested in a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Right.
And then whenever he puts out something, gold by gold, his fucking stock goes up.
Mhm.
So he's definitely profiting in some sense off of it. I don't know. I mean, did you see all this stuff with like? This was recent enough. There was like the big thing about the Bilderberg meeting,
No, I missed
Yeah.
that, Sam.
and they actually had Alex Jones on a UK channel. I can't remember. It was like a news channel, and he did his usual, went a bit nuts and everything. But it's so weird. Like they actually came out and like was it Parliament? They were talking. They were openly talking about the Bilderberg Group is this thing. It's it's a bunch of people we get together. It's no big deal.
Mhm.
And saying that they publish all their stuff. It's actually not a big deal at all.
Mhm.
But there is a weirdness to that though, because okay, now they're coming out and saying all that, but there is a lot of like footage, I guess you'd call it, of people being asked who were supposed members,
Yeah.
who are flat out denying any knowledge of it,
Aye.
acting like no, don't know what you're talking about. So I mean, is it is it a thing that it was a secret and now it's not, or was it always not a secret, or I mean, what's going on with that? I don't know.
Oh,
It's nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, man. So, have you been enjoying the show?
Yeah, did you speak any more to that guy or do anything about that guy? He tried to do a debunk of your film or something. I thought that was crazy.
No, do you know, I
the
kind of,
reviewer guy.
yeah, I kind of slightly gave up on him a little bit. Like when I first saw it,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, my first, here's someone who's tried to fucking review or debunk or have a criticism of the film. I was like, awesome, I'm going to listen to this, I'm going to take all his points on board, and I'm going to do a response video. Because I'm bored most of the time, it'll give me something to do.
Yeah.
You know? So, but I don't know, after listening to it, I was kind of disappointed in him. I was just like, he's not really said anything. Like, I mean...
Yeah, it's when he's went so much into something, but he's went so far into it, he's not kind of realised the most basic things he's away off and such a tangent on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just totally off.
And one of the things as well, like, I mean, there's I'm trying to think now, if I think he does make a couple of, he at least attempts to make a couple of points. But the main point at the end, he starts talking about criticising the Zeitgeist movement and how a resource-based economy would work.
Yeah, he really reduced it pretty bad, I thought, at the end.
Yeah.
Made it look kind of...
Well, the thing I thought as well is, I thought, right, I could then respond to him. And I actually started writing a response. I was like, right, this is what I'll say, this is what the points I'll make and all this stuff. And then I kind of stopped myself and I thought, I'm making a response to his criticism of the Zeitgeist movement. But this now becomes not anything to do with my film.
Aye, it's nothing to do with you.
Because although I'm saying this is what I want people to go do. I want people to go off, see them, like, if you don't know what the Zeitgeist movement is, go off, investigate that. Here's the Venus Project. How fucking awesome is that? Go check that out. But almost the point of my film is I'm saying, forget what you want to happen, because you can have the arguments about whether or not a resource-based economy would work. Forget that. It's happening. We're moving in a direction where it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna have to change the economy. The issue's being forced. So that's kind of the premise of the film that should be addressed. When I see a response video to this, I'm thinking he's going to criticize the points that I'm making, not sort of speculate as to what my opinion is on a resource-based economy and then attack that. Which, I mean, he was pretty bang on. You know, obviously, I am in favour of a resource-based economy, and I could have argued with him. I could have spelled it out for him where he went wrong. But then I thought, then this is just a Zeitgeist movement or a resource-based economy back and forth. It's not a will work for free back and forth.
Aye.
And then I just kind of thought, you know, when there's so many videos out there explaining what this guy's problem is. In fact, I think it was not the last lecture that Peter Joseph gave, but the one before that. I think it was in German.
Calculation.
Yeah. That's kind of what this guy needs to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So that's why I kind of thought, what's the point in me just reiterating that? So I've kind of left it. If I get bored enough, or if like someone can give me a good enough reason to do it, then I might go ahead and do it. But yeah, I'm kind of just, you know, or if his video gets more views than mine, then I'll definitely make.
What's the response been like for his video, for the review?
I don't know. He only had a few views last time I checked. So again, it was kind of like, I don't know. What's the point?
I never watched his whole review just because I just kind of felt it was too I didn't really.
He was
I
a
thought
bit.
it was too all over the place.
Yeah, he
for
was a
me.
bit. I was going to say he was a bit all over the place. He's a bit like. I think he started making it with not really knowing what his issue was. Just that he had an issue.
Like he's got beef with it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. When I seen the first thing on it was the Adam Smith quote for the first chapter. It was just like I knew he's completely missed the point. He's off in a totally different direction.
Yeah. And then he went off on the tangent as well about saying essentially that he agrees with me that it's about technology, but it also has to do the reason that the technology is so good is because of this, and I'm like, he's going off on a nice little tangent and he's definitely talking, but he's not really saying anything. He's not, you know, he's not made any point that I can disagree with or take yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of, it might happen, but it's not looking good for him.
No, I would just leave it, Sam. I think I think I'm going to at some point go and see what people have said to him, because I mean you had people on your video commenting and kind of trying to tear your video apart and kind of say this is wrong with it and that's wrong with it. But I mean, surely, like, if folk are smart enough to go and like see, I wonder what he's got to say about it. I'm sure folk have kind of had to go at him already for it.
Possibly. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't checked out his video in a while, but
the big thing is, like, most of the information is there for anybody to kind of go look at it for themselves. It always just seems like most people are in some sort of denial. It's maybe something you're saying goes against like a belief system or something like that, so they kind of get angry and they'll just say it's something that's just always going to happen when you start speaking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because it almost feels like there's no lack of information out there.
Yeah,
they could definitely go find it if they wanted. And you know what's funny as well? It's always the people that disagree. It's always people who happen to have a personal investment, like, you know, it's their job. The amount of people that I've had disagreeing with me about what I said about video games, and I can't even fucking remember what I said about video games, but the amount of people that are like, I'm a video game designer, like, you know, and I disagree with you because of this. And I'm just like, all right, okay, because you're a video game designer. I'm a fucking video game developer, you know. Like, I know.
I know.
It's not even about agreeing or disagreeing. That's what some people don't get. It's just like, this is what's happening. It's not about liking it or disliking it. It's what we're going to do about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly
that's it. That's well said.
People just like to have an opinion, eh?
But do you know what? I think the movie's done in a way as well where, because it goes after so many different job types, if you happen to find the one job that relates to you and you disagree with it, it's kind of all right. If you disagree with 10% of the film but agree with the other 90%, then, you know, maybe it's all right. Maybe we can just let your argument kind of slide, because you kind of get the broad sort of point being made.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've run 10 minutes over, and that's the first time we've ever done that.
Good hell.
So yeah, I think we'll finish up there. But thanks for phoning in, man.
Thanks for phoning in.
No problem. See you later.
Aye, man. If you ever have anything as well, anything you want to chat about, whatever, man, feel free to phone in. You're always welcome, man.
Nice. Cheers, man.
Right, take it easy, dude.
Bye.
Right, take it easy, man. Cheers.
Bye.
That was Willie.
Bleep bloop.
Thanks very much, man. And thanks, Ryan, as well. I would phone you back, but we're 10 minutes over. And thanks to, you know what? Fuck it. Thanks to everyone who didn't phone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's not sarcastic. That's just thank you for fucking watching.
Thanks to all you people on Sunday.
Yeah, for all the people listening on Sunday, have a good rest of the day.
Yup, me mama. Yup, me mama. Yup, for when the morning come. Remember that used to be the advert?
No, I blocked that from my memories. All right. Once again, thanks
for everyone. Arigato, Mr. Moto, Mr. Moto. That's a good one.
Yeah, Sugarman's. That's a documentary about a guy that. Well, we won't go into that.
But you'll know if you know.
Yeah, you'll know if you know.
But if you've not, check it. Sugarman. What's it called? Searching for Sugarman.
Searching for Sugarman. That's a good documentary.
Look it up.
It is good. But no, this thing was like all about. It was going into like it was breaking down the timeline of when in America they had a high rate of heart disease or heart attacks. Everyone was fucking just dropping off like flies from heart attacks in comparison to the rest of the world. They had the highest, you know, and so it was becoming a bit of an epidemic because it was a relatively new thing. Like people are dying of all these heart attacks, and it's America's got the biggest rate in the world. I think they still do. And it was one of the presidents, Eisenhower or something like that, got a heart attack, and that's when the country then sort of freaked out.
Then they panicked,
and they were like, "What's going on here? We need to cure this. What the fuck?" So there was a few studies done, and they looked at other countries. And one of the guys who was looking into it, he looked at the countries with the lowest rate of heart attacks and looked at the diets and all that stuff, and concluded, which is now something that he kind of disagrees with. He thinks it was a sort of false thing that they jumped on. It was a false impression that they got from these studies. But at the time, they were looking at the countries with the lowest rates of heart attacks in their diet, and they found that the people with the lowest rate had the least amount of fats and whereas America was like really big on fat because, fat's really easy to break down and it carries like taste and all this stuff with it. So then it became this big thing where everyone was like, all right, that's it. That's the reason we're all getting heart attacks. It's because of fat. So we're doing away with fat. And the companies and the conglomerates, like all the food corporations and all that, who were previously using fat, now they were going out of business because no one would buy anything unless it said low fat, not fat. So they were looking for another way of being able to advertise it as low fat or non-fat, but still have it taste better than all the other products. And that's when they started, apparently this is when they started experimenting with sugar. Let's just pump loads of sugar into it. And they had to go through all sorts of clinical trials and things like that about showing that sugar wasn't harmful. And in all the early trials, from what I'm remembering about this, they were testing it on animals, farm animals, and all the animals were just dying and getting sick and
what, from the sugar?
Yeah, like this is not fit for human consumption. There was a guy, they were saying he like trialed it on his dog, or he had 2 dogs, and there was like one of them was getting sugar, one of them was just getting water, and the one that was getting sugar just, I don't know if he died or if he came close to dying or whatever, and it was just like, this is not something that's good. And I think there's another, it wasn't necessarily sugar, but there was another thing when they tried to synthetically, or whatever the word is, they make their own, what did they call it? Artificial sweeteners.
Right, aye.
Because then sugar got a bad rap. But there was apparently another thing about, sugar getting passed into law, and it was all sketchy and all that stuff, but loads of people maintain it's not good for human consumption and all that stuff, like we should not be eating it. Then they were making the artificial sweeteners. And they were saying they were testing that on fucking lab rats, and all the lab rats were getting like tumors and like it was really fucking. But it was aspartame, that artificial sweetener, which is one of the, I don't know if it's one of the main ingredients, but when you think of aspartame, you think of Diet Cola. Right. And Diet Cola is.
Of course you do, Sam.
Well, when people who look into aspartame, it always comes up Diet Cola. Right. Okay. It's like it's the. So if anyone's heard of aspartame, they'll probably have heard of, that's what's in Diet Cola. It's the, I can't say it's the main ingredient, but it's one of the main sweeteners or whatever. So, and they're going on about how fucking just vile this thing is for you. It's like poison. It's like really fucking bad. People should not be consuming this stuff at all. And of course they this is a long video. If you watch this Truth on Sugar, I'm kind of explaining like a briefer version of what the film. It's not really a film, it's a short video. I'm kind of explaining roughly what it contains. But the end sort of conclusion is, this is why depression levels are up, this is why obesity's rising, and people are more fatigued and all this stuff. And I mean, it might be bullshit, it might just be a video that's up there that's convincing, and maybe someone will have a reason as to why it's wrong or whatever. But their conclusion is that you've got billions or trillions or whatever of...
Very angry man.
Right.
Is he angry? Aye, he's very cut the bullshit, he's a very angry man. And one night he was out, right, and he went home, and his mum, I think, had ran him into the town or something like that. I don't know what had happened. He went home, and he just was like, he'd forgot his... No, he had his keys. He was like banging on the door. And no, he wasn't. He was just walking up, and they know. Sorry. I've not told the story in a while, and I'm so nervous with different camera angles. I've got so he's walking up to his front door, and he just hears, "Colin, is that you, Colin?" He's like, "Who the fuck is that?" Right, and he was like annoyed. Like he's annoyed, right? Yeah, that's him. Colin, and then and he's kind of renowned for this. I don't know if you'd call it violent anger, but he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, everything's for fucking hell. Like, everything's a lot of hassle in that to him, right? And he's, I don't know if you'd say, but he's a bit of a mummy's boy. He's not really, but like, he's still like a wee boy, if you know what I mean. And she does like run about after him. Is he going to be
watching this?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're not doing a very good service
but
to
he likes
our
story.
100th like person. Like, he's a bit of a wee boy, but he's a fucking angry guy as well. You know what?
But
So
it's
there's a
hard
point
to
to the story.
it's hard to tell the story if you don't know him. But like, so he hears Colin, and then he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And he goes round the back, right, and his mum's like lying on the bench in the back garden with like a fucking towel that she took off the washing line over her, and he's like, "What are you doing, Ma?" And she's like, sorry, Sam.
Sorry.
She's like, I forgot my key, but I was I didn't want to disturb your night out by phoning you. They'll come back and light me in, so I just stayed here.
So she was just hanging out
She just
outside.
fucking like was on the bench with a with a towel over her.
Aye, that's a bit mad. That's not really his fault though, is it?
I know, but it's just funny. It's just funny the way he is, and then he's just kind of like even she's like afraid to anger him, if you know what I mean.
Oh well, then I guess if it's out of, I don't know. I mean, is she being overly? I don't know.
I don't
even
know
what the word is.
It's just a funny story, Sam.
That's it is funny.
I'll need to, I like telling Colin stories.
So you've got a few of them.
I've got a lot of them. I could save them.
Yeah, it's the trouble though as well. Like, you need to make sure he's all right with this, because like
Aye.
I've got loads of stories about a particular person, but I can't do any of them because
I can't even full name Colin now, eh?
name call. Huh?
Like I can't even tell you his full name now because everyone
Oh
like
yeah,
send
yeah,
their
yeah.
message.
Oh, it's just a precautionary thing, you know. I mean, probably
His
no one
name's
cares.
Colin.
Probably no one's going to
No.
be like, oh,
I don't
I'm
even
gonna
know if
find
he'd
out who
watch
this
it. I
Colin
just
is.
think,
In fact, fuck you. They will know who he is because he's the 100th fucking like.
aye, they will.
They'll just go on the Facebook page and oh wait, can they do that? I don't know.
They'll
I'm talking
see him.
shit.
I don't think there's many Collins on it.
Oh, stop helping them narrow it down.
Well, they know his name's
What are
Colin.
you doing?
Fucking hell. It's not like they're all going to appear at his door. My second shout out is to Craigie. Do you remember Craigie from episode 2 that he phoned in and was doing all the why I man telling us about monkeys and that? He's in hospital.
All right.
That's it. Just get well soon, Craig.
Why is he in hospital though? Is it?
His finger got stuck up his anus.
So it was nothing to do with the vapors.
No. But I was reading Vapor News as well today, Sam.
Right.
If you want me to segue into that.
Now it's time, kids, for Vapor News. Vapor News.
Vapor.
Go on. Vapor
the
News,
thing
the
is,
new
I
segment.
didn't really...
We're going to have another instalment of the North Korea segment as well, I
Oh
think.
shit, Korea's
So,
I'm loving Korea at the minute, Sam. Korea's my hot topic. Korea's the new black.
But go on
Can I
to...
say that? Vape news.
You can say whatever you want.
I never finished reading this, but first of all,
This isn't North Korea, this is Vape
this
News.
is vape news. This is about dangers of why these like e-cigarettes are bad. Like they were doing studies into them and to find out what was the problem with them. And first thing I thought when I read this article is I'm really confused. This is why I would actually say to Craig, I sent him an email and said you need to phone him because I've got a question about this. Like it's calling these e-cigarettes as vapor as well. And like I always thought vapor was like, no, you see that ones and they look really distinctly different from like a cigarette, but folks smoke them. It's like got the wee canister of oil and that in it.
But it's like black or something with a light at the end.
Aye, but some of them are like clear and glass, and like you get pink ones for girls and blue ones for boys.
I've not seen any of the clear ones. All I've seen is the ones. I think there's ones that look like cigarettes.
Aye, I know there is, but there's
It
one...
was so crazy as well. Fucking one of my friends came round and he had this e-cigarette. It looked like a cigarette from a distance. If you hand up close, you know it's not.
Aye.
It was like I don't know what he did. He like took off the top of it or something, and I don't know if he added something else to it or I don't know what he did, but he turned it into like this USB.
My name is Sam, and that's not all. I got a pretty good show with my good friend Paul. So listen up to the chairman of the board. I talk to him and he talks to me. We talk a lot of shit, but you get it for free. So don't complain, these gadgets cost a lot. So now we're at the end of the song, and everybody knows what's going on. So here we have the chairman of the... Yes, we have the chairman of the board. Because we're bored.
Oh my days, Sam! The camera angle's so different this week, bringing fresh new angles.
Yep.
Zany and crazy.
Good afternoon or good
Evening, good evening,
Depends
and
when
good
you're listening to this. Actually, I found out recently, Paul.
What?
Oh wait, I'll do the introduction first. Hi, I'm Sam. Woo! This is
Paul Quigley. Can we get an echo on that next week, Sam? Is that doable? Maybe we've got it going through the
It's
mic.
kind of hard when it's live. You do it and then I'll do it at the back and it'll be like an echo.
Now?
Yeah.
Thought we were going to wait till next week. Paul Quigley!
That didn't really work.
No. Why have you given me a pencil, Sam?
I couldn't find a pen.
Why have you given me any writing implement? I've wrote all the stuff I need.
Because this isn't...
Maybe I've not. I've wrote something there in my notes and it looks like it says Blueies.
Well, we can
but it's not
we can come to
Blueies.
that in a minute.
I got a bit excited there.
No, I was going to say, I found out one of the reasons why we don't have many callers.
Why?
Am I too loud again? Fucking see this audio stuff. I can't stand it.
I always think it sounds fine, Sam. Stop stressing.
Yeah, I know. It's just once it's if it's shit just now, then it ruins the whole
Aye.
rest of the podcast.
That sounds okay to me anyway.
No, apparently this is, I've been told, a good show to listen to when you wake up in the morning on a Sunday on your day off.
Oh,
So
I always put that up on, like, I would share it in the mornings. On Sunday, I share it on the weekends anyway.
Yeah.
Like early.
That's good,
Who's this top tip from Number One Fan? Ryan
No,
Green?
no,
No.
from someone else.
Oh wow.
I'll leave them nameless to keep the air of mystery.
Oh well.
Yeah, so I mean we do get a lot of viewers, now, so it's
Uh-huh.
just weird though that
What did they say? Sorry, it was good to listen to on a Sunday.
it's good to listen to when you're on your day off and you wake up and you're just sort of coming to and getting your coffee and your breakfast and all that
Aye.
stuff, which I can see that.
Aye, man.
I get that. I don't know. Maybe there's other things on a Wednesday night. We didn't really think this through.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's on telly on Wednesday night. I know that Friday night used to be the comedy night on telly,
Yeah.
but I tried to watch it the other night and it's just shit. It's just I don't know what's on.
Well, that's why I was like,
Channel 4.
we shouldn't do it on a Friday because Friday night, everyone's out
Aye.
and everyone's doing this and there's great stuff on TV.
Going
And
to
then-
parties, sniffing glue,
Yeah.
taking meth.
But then, yeah, you have to reel myself back in and go, wait a minute, it's not like 2002 or whenever TV was good, right?
Aye.
It's like, it's not like that anymore. Friday night's just kind of nothing, isn't it?
Aye, I know.
Or is that just us because we're older?
No,
or?
it is. It's just shit. I watched it the other night. I had a free Friday. Did I have a free Friday night? I must do. But it was shit. I was very disappointed with it. But no, I don't think anybody does much on a Wednesday. But I mean, it's handier for us on a Wednesday in case we need to go out on a Friday or something like that. In case we want to go out and sniff glue and take meth and whatever.
Yeah, no, Wednesday's the best day for us. But look, if you can't watch it live, who gives a shit? I'm gonna keep. We're.
I don't know
See
where
these
to look,
fucking
Sam.
Cameras.
I
The
never look
cameras
at
are
the
up there now.
cameras.
No,
I find it too awkward to look at the cameras.
I like to look our audience in the eye as I'm
I don't. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed by them.
stimulating them with my voice. But because we keep moving the cameras around, we're trying to find. In fact, write us in. Tell us what you think is the best camera angle
Last
we've
week
had.
apparently it was
What
shocking.
episode?
Oh yeah.
I know. I thought we experimented last week. I didn't think it was that good. It's
There
a weird
I,
sort of.
I look back at it and there were some bits that I was like fucking cut out, and then like after the dancing at the end, I think I knocked the cameras
Yeah.
and it put it out.
Okay, just had to adjust myself there. I
Right,
thought
okay.
I put the gain down because I'm.
You were so confident
I'm
in
hearing
these
a bit
volumes
gainy.
earlier.
Yeah, I know. We're still playing around. We're still just fine tweaking it. Because one of the weeks it was awful.
Was it?
Anyway, so what we got planned for this week?
Loads of stuff. Ryan Green's going to phone in.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
It was
He
a
usually
fucking
does.
surprise. Why is no one else
Oh,
phoning?
I've got some shout outs, Sam.
I keep looking down there for the fucking camera
I
again.
never look at the camera. It's too confusing. I've got two shout outs. The first shout out is goes to Colin, who was our 100th like on Facebook today.
Oh,
Colin Aitken.
I was going to say, you can't just do shout outs, what's the reason? But you gave me a reason.
Can I tell you a funny story about Colin?
100 like, go ahead.
Right, Colin's a
Fucking stick.
aye
And he put it in my computer.
to charge it.
And I'm like,
Aye.
Did he just
the
put his cigarette-
e-cigarettes, like they split in half so you can charge it. Now you charge the top half of it, like the white bit, right?
right.
And that unscrews off, and then you plug that into a USB pit and you charge it, right? Because that's the battery essentially. And the bottom bit, I think, must be where the vapor is. That's the bit that runs out, and you need to replace the filter looking bit,
Yeah.
right? And now this is like where my confusion comes from, because this article is calling an e-cigarette like vape. Like it uses vapor as well, so it just must be in smaller quantities or something like that. But it was talking about it puts stuff in your lungs. I'm sure it was saying like there's like tin and stuff in it, and all kind like metals and stuff in it that you're inhaling, and like that's why it's unsafe. Like I didn't read it. I read a quick bit on it. Let me just see if I can skip through it. They're talking about advertising a lot about it, and but they didn't really know what was in them. They're just like, it's an alternative because it's cleaner, because there's not tar in it. But in order to get the vapour, there's apparently other stuff in it. You're breathing nicotine, volatile metals. There's apparently metals in the vapour. I'm sure there was like tin, and for some reason I think copper. It was metals anyway, Sam. But that was it, and it was just saying how it was there. There is quite a bit of tin. Most of this material is composed of tin. There's also some oxygen, which not bad. Some copper and some nickel. So that's what's in it when you're inhaling it. Like, it's not just like people like, oh, it's just nicotine. Like, it's all the benefits of a cigarette without any of the cons. Like, there's no tar or there's no shite in it, but then there is other stuff in it.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna have, I would assume anyway, when you see these people smoking vapors, you would think it's the reason they're doing it is it's safer than cigarettes. But it wouldn't make me think, oh, here's something healthy that they're doing.
Aye, that's I think that's a lot of people are duped into thinking that, like, now, they think it's,
I mean, it can be
healthier, not like,
it could still be unhealthy and not contain all the stuff that you're saying. So maybe that would still be surprising, like, oh, it has all this stuff in it. But I don't know, it's weird because, like, I'm always hearing these stories about, like, and I mean, I don't know how much of it's true, how much of it's acknowledged, how much of it's conspiracy theories, but you hear fucking horror stories about toothpaste. Like, toothpaste will have, what's it called? It's this rat poison stuff or something. It's like I want to say fluoride or fluoride or something like that.
That's in toothpaste.
Yeah, and so there's this big thing about, no, that this is like, it's really bad. It's like cancer causing. It's like all this stuff, and I think there's even, you know, documentaries on it where they show this town was like subjected to high doses of fluoride. It is fluoride. And but then they're saying, oh, fluoride's in the drinking water as well. Like if you buy water, if you
it's in that
water out the tap and all that stuff, it'll be.
I think it depends on, like,
and actually, well, you know what I mean. When you hear this stuff, you instantly think conspiracy theory. I'll tell you something I saw that was crazy though, and I can't remember which fucking documentary it was on. But there was a guy who turned on his tap, and like this was out of his sink, and he was like holding a lighter next to it, and the water was like, there was something flammable in it.
What, like, and just like you could do it in your sink now? Yeah,
it's not gonna go and just like you know, fire's just coming out. But it was just, he's holding a lighter next to it, and every so often there'd be like this, you know, like gust of
what?
Flame ball.
Where was this? What country was that in?
America, and I can't remember what documentary was that. If anyone knows what this is, what I'm talking about, I don't remember in what context it was in. I just remember seeing it on a film. So if you know what film it was, post it for everyone, because I can't fucking remember. But yeah, you always hear about weird stuff. Actually, one thing I got sent, and I was going to bring this up last week, but we just kind of ran out of time. Actually,
oh, it was a biggie, Sammy.
Not necessarily a biggie, but I think it takes a little while to explain. Right. And I'm not clued up on the details of all it. I was going to like sort of write down, take some notes, and so I could really kind of talk about it properly. And I don't know how new this information is as well, because I was telling my mum about it.
Right.
Another thing as well, watching back, when I watch these episodes back, I realise sometimes I talk too fast. So I'm going to say that again a bit slower. Right. I was talking to my mum about it. And apparently she was saying, oh, like, you know, she already kind of knew this stuff, and like from years ago there was a big thing. So now I don't know if it's just this sort
maybe you've missed
theory
it,
or idea that's just reoccurring, you know.
Right.
But there's a video that was presenting this information, and it seemed like it was current and it was like a new thing, and it's all about sugar, right? And I think the videos. Oh,
you're watching that sugar? Was it the?
I think it's called like the Truth of Sugar or something.
I was going to say the Sugar Man thing, but that's something else.
No, Sugar Man's a different thing of microbacteria, you know. And one of these bacteria that you have in your intestine is called, is it Candida or something? I think it's called Candida. And they're saying this,
you're bringing the pain with the big words tonight, Sammy.
Well, this I don't know anything about it. I just watched this video and was like, oh, that's interesting.
I was going to check it out when you actually put it up, but Never. I just
Yeah.
never had time.
Well, it's a good job you didn't, because
Aye.
then we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Aye.
But so they're saying that this candida thing, it basically becomes like a not a cancer, like a what do they call it? Like a like a pest, like a foot. There's a word for it, you know.
The virus, a bug,
Not
infection?
a virus, yeah, but like they use a word for it. I can't remember. Mine's gone blank. But they're saying that this thing basically lives off of sugar
And it lives
aspartame and all
inside
this
you.
stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've already got like billions of different bacteria, but this particular one becomes dominant then.
Right.
And they're saying that you have a ratio of like maybe 80% good bacteria, 20% bad bacteria, and that this candida is one of the bad ones. That then if you start feeding it, then it sort of dominates and takes over, and it ends up like, you know, spawning, becoming more bigger and all this stuff. So
Holy shit.
there's loads of them. Parasite, that's the fucking word
Aye.
I was looking for. Because it basically becomes like a parasite, and so this is what their conclusion
Like
is.
it's feeding off its host kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Pest, I was calling it.
Aye.
Right, so parasite. So that's their thing. They're saying this thing's inside us. You know, this is why, you know, cancer rates are going up. You know, all this stuff is all related to this, supposedly. So then the conclusion is, what you need to do is you need to have more probiotics.
And what about like natural cane sugar? That's supposed to be quite, well, not good for you, but better.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what they're. I don't know the difference between different types of sugar, because I know there's like fructose, which you get in
Because
fruit.
I think like the granulate sugar that you would eat, like you'd put in your coffee or whatever, like
Yeah.
that's like being processed, I think, to
No,
a
but
degree.
that's the sugar that they're talking about.
I see. That's what I'm saying. Like you get this, you can get like from the cane sugar, and it's like more natural. Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be like corn off the cob versus
It's
corn in a tin.
from what I've heard, there isn't one that they point to and go, "This one's okay."
Right. Okay.
The only thing that's a sweetener that I've heard is all right. I think it's called sativa. And that's kind of the only one that is recommended by all these the people that talk about this stuff.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
think it's sativa is the only one that kind of you should go with. But everything else is fuck that. That's not for human consumption. It's really, really bad for us.
Sugar
Sugar
and sweeteners.
Yeah, well, all the artificial sweeteners are sort of trying to, you know, apparently they're worse, you know, because
Aye.
most of them have got this fucking aspartame, which there's if you just type in aspartame, there'll be a documentary in and of itself about why that's bad.
So aspartame's the stuff that feeds the parasite
and sugar.
and sugar,
Yeah.
right? Fucking hell.
Apparently this parasite they were saying it's a yeast parasite or something like that. So yeah, apparently. So what you want to do is this is what they're trying to sell you. They're trying to say what you want to do is you want to have more probiotics. So the way you get probiotics is, you know, eating healthy, carrots, fucking all that shit.
Yakult.
Yakult, yeah. And I don't know, I mean, Actimel probably.
I think it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It might be a different thing, but yeah, I've got Actimel. I
Aye, that's
love Actimel.
I was thinking the other day, I wish they made big bottles of Actimel because I think it's fucking delicious. But you like just get a wee one and you're like,
Yeah, I don't know if
can
you're
only have a wee
supposed.
one.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to have.
Yop's kind of the same thing. Well, it's not really, it's just yogurt.
Yeah, no, fuck Yop.
I like Yop. Yop's
No.
lovely.
How? I had a
What's your beef with
huge,
Yop?
I had a huge fallout over this fucking thing, and it wasn't actually to do with that, but it got made out. That I feel like I should explain it. You know.
I'm really interested to hear this. You've got some crazy beef with Yop.
No, but I don't really. But it's kind of been twisted to look that way, right?
What is this?
So, it was one night we were like all having this big family dinner, and everyone was getting takeaways, and they were all going out and to the shop and all that stuff. And I got asked if I wanted a drink, and I was kind of like, no, I'm alright. I'm not really having anything. And
you're
so,
like, I want a drink, but
No,
I
no.
also want a yogurt at the same
no,
time.
no,
And
but-
somebody's like, Yop, and you're like, Yop.
no.
Right.
See, I can't really tell the story in its entirety.
Without
'cause
naming names.
yeah, but
Right, okay.
But no, it was basically I didn't want anything. But then as they were going out the door, I said, "Oh, do you know what? If you're going to that shop, can you get me the